Well, bitter. Party of one. Your table's ready. He's Harry Douglas and Freddie Coleman on the Love Friday edition of Freddie and Harry. Will we see a Game 7 between the Knicks and Pacers as what the Knicks did last night in Game 5? That's next.
We're everyday people doing good in our community. Our kindness runs deep, just like our blood. The same blood we donate to help treat sickle cell disease, which hits black people the hardest. Good news is, 1 in 3 black blood donors is a match for someone struggling with sickle cell disease. Stand tall in the eyes of your community. Donate today because our blood saves lives. Visit redcrossblood.org/ourblood to make your donation.
The playoffs are in full swing, and you can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code JOEQ, J-O-E-Q, to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida has the most college and local sports anywhere on the Panhandle. Join the Coach Hale Show, mornings from 7 to 9, live from the J. Michaels Studio.
Best seafood, the Coles beer.
High school coverage, the SEC and beyond. It's all right here. Mornings on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Of course, it helps when you're a multi-millionaire.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with Friday's weather forecast. A likelihood of thunderstorms and very light showers the rest of the day with temps near 85 and a wind 13 to 17 miles per hour. A mixture of mostly clouds and a likelihood of thunderstorms tonight, a gentle breeze and a temperature of 72. About the same tomorrow, around 83 with mostly sunshine. Mostly sunny Sunday and quite warm around 84. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
Tired of boring merch and want your brand to stand out like the big names? Elevate your look with Red 7 Tees. They don't just print shirts, they create bold identities. They are a veteran-owned custom apparel shop providing the kind of detail that turns heads, using high-quality digital printing and embroidery to give you that unique style you love with no minimums or cookie-cutter designs. From small business to sports teams, if you've got a vision, they'll help you wear it proudly. Visit red7tees.com.
Everyone in the area knows that when it comes to portable buildings, Bestway Portable Buildings is the best in portable, period. And now they offer screen enclosures too to help keep those vicious yellow flies, mosquitoes, and no-see-ums away. Need a pole barn? Bestway can do the job. See Bestway Portable Buildings just north of the old mall on Highway 231. Online at bestwayportablebuildings.com. Bestway Portable Buildings, the best in portable, period. And a golden age business.
When you bring your vehicle to Panama City Toyota for repairs or maintenance, you'll get the warmest welcome around.
That's because we see service differently.
It's not only an expert team that can help with everything, from simple adjustments to a new set of tires. It's also a team that values your time, so we make your experience as quick and comfortable as possible. Because we're committed to service that goes beyond. Only at Panama City Toyota.
WPLQ Port St. Joe, WGSX Lumen. Powered by Panama City Toyota.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Transmitting from the CBC Construction Studio. Get ready.
Deep center field and heading for the horizon.
Sports Talk Radio will never be the same.
Onion pickles, onions, pickles.
The Afternoon Underdogs.
Way back and gone.
On ESPN.
Northwest Florida.
What is going on, Panama City? You are now riding along with the Afternoon Underdogs. Tuned in here to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. I'm David Hayes along with Caveman Rick and the Bone Crusher. Caveman, it is a beautiful Friday afternoon. How are you doing?
Doing great. Glad to be here today with you, John. Like I said, nice day out, kind of warm, a little humid and stuff. Just getting ready for the extreme heat we're fixing to be having here pretty soon.
Yeah, speaking of extreme heat, do you have any complaints to air about grabbing your Red Bulls?
We can air that out. But yeah, like if you got AC, you should probably use it, especially if you're a store owner.
You
put it that way.
Probably use it. It's that tough time of the year, though, you know?
Yeah, I get it. You probably want to save some money. You got doors, opening and closing all the time and letting that cold air out. But man, dude, like when you walk into a place that doesn't have AC and you're kind of expecting it, it's noticeable.
Well, BC always brings the heat and keeps us warm in here. BC, how you doing? Oh,
hey, Pookie.
Hey, Pookie. That'll work for us this afternoon.
Good call.
I did not realize that you didn't have your mic up there. My bad about that. But NCAA softball, Women's College World Series yesterday was just a fun day. Didn't get to watch the second half of the games, Texas Tech and Ole Miss, UCLA and Oregon. But just a brief reminder before we get Sam Peebles on the line with us coming up at 4:05. Texas, they took care of business against Florida 3-0. Oklahoma with the Ella Parker walk-off home run in the bottom of the seventh. They win 4-3. So Texas and Oklahoma will take on each other tomorrow that'll be a Sunday. Wait, today is May 30th. So it's on Saturday, May 31st, Texas and Oklahoma at 2 p.m. Then later on, Texas Tech shutting out Ole Miss 1-0, shows you again what Najee Kennedy brings to the table. And then UCLA was able to hold on and beat Oregon 4-2. So today, Florida and Tennessee at 6 p.m. Loser packs it up, goes home. Winner gets to continue on and will take on the loser of Texas and Oklahoma. Then you have Ole Miss and Oregon tonight. And again, Ole Miss and Oregon, loser goes home. And the winner will go on to take on the loser of Texas Tech and UCLA. Any surprises so far from the Women's College World Series for you, Caveman Ray?
No, I don't think so. I guess there's nothing major.
Everything has went about as I've expected. I think the biggest surprise is Tennessee being up on Oklahoma 3-1 and it feeling like the game is, over. And Tennessee digging deep, or Oklahoma digging deep, and Ella Parker with the walk-off home run. And the game I was most intrigued by, didn't get to watch, but most intrigued by Texas Tech and Ole Miss with Najee Kennedy in the circle. I guess I was not surprised at all that it was just a 1-0 game. As also, we are getting underway with our college baseball regionals, and we're going to have Wright State Chris on the line with us as he's headed up to Tallahassee to watch, I believe it's Florida State taking on Wright State and the Raiders this evening. But so far to this point, you've got Texas up on top of Houston Christian in the bottom of the 8th. West Virginia and Kentucky are tied in the bottom of the 6th. I was wrong about Wright State because Florida State is playing Bethune-Cookman, and they are tied at 2 in the bottom of the 3rd. And FSU is hosting that regional over there. Alabama trails Miami in the bottom of the 4th, 4-3. You've got USC on top of TCU in the bottom of the 6th. Arkansas on top of North Dakota State. That is in the bottom of the 6th, and it is 6-2. Georgia's beating Binghamton 8-2 in the 3rd inning, so that game could end a little early. Georgia Tech taking on Western Kentucky. It's 4-0 in the bottom of the 3rd. Arizona leading Cal Poly 3-0. Top 4, UCLA on top of Fresno State 4-1. Stetson, here's the first surprise, and it is the top of the 2nd inning. Stetson on top of North Carolina State 7-0. The games that have already finished: North Carolina over Holy Cross 4-0. Louisville over East Tennessee State 8-3. Cincinnati beating Wake Forest 11-6. And then Florida falling to East Carolina 11-6. Wright State is going to be taking on Vanderbilt, so a heck of a game for Wright State, Chris, to be going to. And then our final guest of the afternoon will be on with us at 5:20. That is Chris Gollin. We'll also be talking some Major League Baseball with him. Call-in question of the day: reaching into the old backpack, just trying to find something that everyone could have an answer to. What's one song that immediately takes you back to high school? You can text that into the Red 17's phone line, 850-215-6290. And we'll go to the Red 17's phone line as we have our weekly guest, host and creator of the Braves Dugout podcast, Sam Peebles, on the line with us. Sam, the man, what's going on?
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Great, man. Good to hear you.
Yeah, doing well this way. Obviously, your podcast episodes, the latest episode dropped yesterday. What'd you talk about on the Braves Dugout?
This week we actually took a break because I was really busy with Memorial Day and all that stuff. So we'll be back with a new episode next Thursday.
There you go. And it wasn't a very exciting week for the Atlanta Braves, except for last night. The Braves did finally get a win against the Phillies after dropping the first two of that series. What did you like from the series, and what did you not like from the Atlanta Braves?
Well, obviously I didn't like the injury. That was not good news.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what I didn't like is that there was just certain moves that just, especially in game one of the doubleheader, that just I scratched my head at, like the choice of pitchers that were put in high leverage situations when you had guys like Dylan Lee not coming in. Like, what you're playing the Phillies. Also, if you're going to give Ronald Acuna a rest day, why are you doing it against the Phillies? Wait till you play the Red Sox. It's the Phillies. There's little things like that. I'm just like, what is going on? So I was worried that Ronald Acuna was injured or something, dealing with something, but he clearly wasn't, because as soon as he came in the game, he made an impact right away, because he came in for Stuart Fairchild, who hurt himself trying to steal a base. And, so there was little things like that I wasn't a fan of, but the one thing I did like to see was that Ronald Acuna still is hot, and that in the second game of the doubleheader, the Braves showed that they still had some life on offense. So, there has been a few games over the past 5 games or so that they've scored 7 runs or so in those games, so that show that they do have the ability to score runs every once in a while, but their offense is still largely struggling.
And what does the preview for the weekend series versus the Red Sox look like for you? Again, you can listen to those Atlanta Braves right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Coverage starting at 6 for a 6:15 first pitch against the Red Sox.
Well, it's going to be interesting because we've got Grant Holmes against Lucas Giolito in Game 1. And if you look at it on paper, Grant Holmes has a 3.68 ERA, 55 strikeouts. So he's clearly been the better pitcher this year against Lucas Giolito. But Grant Holmes is the type of guy where he does still walk a lot of people. So he's very streaky. He's either excellent or terrible. And so hopefully we'll get the excellent start from Grant Holmes. And if that's the case, I do think the Braves have a slight edge there. The game that is going to be really fun to watch, though, if you like pitching battles, is going to be Garrett Crochet versus Spencer Strider in Game 3. That's the one I'm really looking forward to. It's funny, I had a conversation with someone today. I was like, when I'm at the stadium, I like to watch high-scoring games. It's just more fun. But when I'm at home watching it on TV, I actually really enjoy pitching battles. So that game I'm really looking forward to. I mean, you're going to see a ton of strikeouts in that game from both pitchers, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I think that the Red Sox do, based on the pitching matchups, have a slight edge over the Braves, but these two teams, as we saw when they played already, are very evenly matched teams, so it's going to be a fun one.
Hey, Sam, it's K-Man Rick. We're getting closer, obviously, to the All-Star break. So right now, who on your radar, which Brave or Braves do you have pinned as going to the All-Star game?
So if you look at the statistically, no one on offense even comes close to being like a top 1 or 2 or 3 player. So there's really not going to, probably not going to be one. The one person on offense I would keep an eye out for, though, is it depends on if MLB puts Drake Baldwin on the ballot or if they put Sean Murphy. If they put Drake Baldwin on the ballot, his stats, like his stat line or his flash line, if you will, looking at his batting average, OBP and stuff like that, that's going to be eye-popping because those are really good. It's just that he's not the everyday starter. And he also has the hype of being a rookie, so he could possibly be voted in by fans. As far as the one person, they have to have a representative, so I would put my money on Chris Sale. Maybe
yeah.
Spencer Schwellenbach, but probably Chris Sale.
Is there any way, because of the silliness of the fan vote, but hey, we play the game for the fans, right? Is there any way that Ronald Acuna Jr. with barely any playing time could make the All-Star game?
If they put him on the ballot, yeah sure. Yeah, but I would say that the Braves fans as a whole, this has not been a super fun season. And typically when that happens, the fans of those type of teams don't get out and, they don't vote. They're not as enthusiastic to vote. So I don't foresee any Braves on offense making it, from the fan vote at least.
Interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting, and that's a good point too. When fans of teams who are not playing well headed into the All-Star break, they don't tend to vote as much. But I know one man who can get you can get you guys out there to vote, and that would be Sam the Man Peebles. We will just have to start up a campaign for the Braves All-Stars. You think we can make that happen, bud?
Oh yeah, let's start up a Braves to the All-Star Game campaign. I might actually be up there for the All-Star Game this year, so it would be nice to see some of the Braves.
Oh, yeah, man. That would be awesome. If you go to the game, are you going to be going to the All-Star or to the Home Run Derby as well?
I will do one or the other, whichever one I can get a ticket on first.
Which, if you had your choice, but you could only go to one, which one would it be?
Man, both of them are bucket list items.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the All-Star Game, but the Home Run Derby is a very close second, because those two events are my favorite events. The MLB does the best with their All-Star weekend of any major sport, so I love it so much. It's one of my favorite. It's like the All-Star Game is my Super Bowl. So that's what I'd like to see.
What'd you have?
Right on.
There?
Saying, as far as the All-Star game goes and stuff and the weekend goes, I don't know. I think maybe the NHL probably does it the best, but that's just me.
Oh, that you do drive a hard bargain there. But if you're more, if Sam, are you a big hockey fan?
I should have said sports that people in Florida watch.
Okay. Well, you got the Stanley Cup, finalists of the Panthers playing for the Cup too. So
6 straight years for a team from the state
that's
of Florida.
Argumentative too.
But
no, it's cool. I mean, I feel you on that, Sam. I'm just saying, as far as when they did dumb stuff, the thing about whoever wins it's getting home field, for the World Series and just stuff like that. Kind of I don't know.
Are you glad that they don't do that anymore?
Yeah, I don't like that. I mean, you should either alternate or whoever had the better record, man. Whoever's the better team should be home field. I mean, you did more in the regular season. You earned it. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't be something that a bunch of players that aren't even playing in that series decided.
But I like the element of hey, we have to band together for one game so that whatever team represents the American League
that's fair.
Gets home field advantage. I like that element. Don't get me wrong. If it goes with the record, that's fine. Or even alternating is fine. But I love that. It's just another competitive element to bring into the game. Sam,
I mean, it's fun.
Go ahead.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's.
I see the argument both ways.
Well, you mentioned the injury to A.J. Smith-Shawver. What's the latest that you know about that?
He's been moved to the 60-day injured list, so his season's probably done. And which was really interesting because as I was watching the game, he got hit in the leg, and I was like, it's not going to be that big. Yeah, well, it looked like it was his lower leg or his ankle or something down there. But so I figured, that's just a bruised leg, maybe. He'll be fine. And then come to find out, the next batter, he felt a pop in his, in his arm. And I was like, he's done for the season.
So it's new arm. I thought in the leg, I was thinking it was maybe Achilles because the way I thought it hit in the ball of his heel is where I was thinking the ball hit him, and that would definitely mess you up pretty bad, I would think. I mean, not getting beamed in the elbow like Bryce Harper, say by Spencer Strider, perhaps.
Right.
Hey, well, we knew, that's just a part of the game. There's no way that Spencer Strider was, aiming.
No, I know
there.
that, man. But still, I wasn't too partial. I didn't really care about Spencer Strider before that. Now I'm like, hey, man, I'm going to knock somebody throw a ball and knock that mustache off your lip.
We're talking with Sam Peebles. He's the host and creator of the Braves Dugout podcast, also a writer for BatteryPower.com and a weekly contributor for us over here at ESPN Northwest Florida. Sam, Chris Sale, quickest to reach 2,500 Ks. You've already mentioned him at possibly being the Braves representative there in Atlanta for the All-Star game. What do you think of him being the fastest to 2,500 strikeouts?
The first thought that comes to mind is like, man, I wish he would not have been injured as much as he was. Because could you imagine? I mean, he's up there with Randy. Like, second place now is Randy Johnson. Like, he's up there at the Randy Johnson level. But if he would have been injured, had not been injured like he had, he probably wouldn't be on the Atlanta Braves. So, because they would not have, the Braves would not have been able to land Chris Sale for just Vaughn Grissom. So, take it for what it is. It is really impressive, though, and I'm excited for him. Maybe that's something that voters will look at when it comes for Hall of Fame type votes later in his career, 5 years after his career is over.
Hey, there you go. We'll ask you some questions just from the National League side of things for Major League Baseball. And this is a take it or trash it question for you. The National League is better top to bottom than the American League in 2025.
I would say from top to bottom, I would say they obviously have the worst team.
Yep.
But from top to bottom, I'd say overall, I'd give the National League a slight edge. If I was to give you like my top 15 teams, I would say that the National League probably has 9 or 10 of them. And to me, that says that they're overall doing better.
Well, this is a easy follow-up question. What's the most dysfunctional franchise in the National League right now?
Oh, the Rockies. It's been the Rockies for years.
Even last year when what was going on with the White Sox?
Yes, absolutely. The White Sox at least have an excuse. The Rockies don't. The Rockies, the White Sox went for it, and they swung for the fences and missed when they signed a bunch of their young talent guys. They tried to follow in the footsteps of the Braves, where they had their talented young guys and signed them to long extensions. Those just didn't work out. The Rockies, I don't even know what they're doing. Like they don't have a plan. They don't have a blueprint. What are they doing? And I understand that they don't have a ton of money, and pitchers don't necessarily want to go there. But come on, man. Like, you could take a random person that is a casual sports fan and could probably run the team as well as it's being run right now. And so that's not, it's easily the Rockies. And I know that seems like such an easy answer this year with their record, but it's been this way for years. Ever since they traded Nolan Arenado and then signed Chris Bryant, I'm like, who signed off on that? What in the world are you doing? And ever since then, it's just been downhill from there.
Yeah, it hasn't even been fun to watch. That's the sad part about it. Sometimes, you can laugh at the misery of how a franchise is doing, but for the Rockies, it's kind of, I hate to bring it up and make this parallel, but it's like FSU last year, right? Where the first, the first little bit of it was funny. And then by the fifth loss or so, it's like, all right, I really feel bad for the fans, and I don't want FSU on, I don't want to watch any more of their games. So kudos to the fans who stuck with the Noles throughout last year. Who are your top 5 teams in the National League right now, Sam?
I would say the Dodgers, Phillies, Cubs are the top 3, easily. Then there's a little gap there, and I'll go with the Mets. They've earned it. But the one that the top 5, the 5th spot, it's a tough one for me between the Padres and the Cardinals. But the Cardinals have played a slightly better schedule, and they have one more win, and so that gives them and they've been playing out of their minds lately. So I'm going to put the Cardinals at number 5.
Yeah, I think they've been more consistent too. I think San Diego's been kind of streaky.
Right.
Started off hot, though. San Diego started off hot, but
they were playing the Braves, so what are you doing? They not much to worry about there.
Yeah, we seem to make every team look a little bit hotter than what they might actually be, except for the Dodgers right there. How about that series? What do you think we're going to get out of probably the best series of the weekend, the Dodgers and the Yankees?
I don't even want to watch that, dude. Let's just be honest here. Can't they both lose?
Yeah.
That's just what. split the games.
Split the games. Oh, 1.5 apiece there. 1.5 apiece.
Yeah.
Actually, I mean, since we're NL people, we want the Yankees to win them all. Dodgers to lose them all.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if you want to be honest, wouldn't you rather have that?
I think I just got like a throat infection even saying. I almost said go Yankees.
Yankees can win all they want. I don't care. I mean, because if we got to worry about them, you might have to worry about them in October, November. That's it. You know.
That's a fair point. And also, the Yankees haven't won a World Series in forever since I think 2009.
Yeah, 2009.
So I mean, let's go there with the quote unquote underdog there and say Yankees.
Yeah.
Freddie Freeman, is he the most underappreciated star of his generation?
Absolutely. About 2 or 3 years ago, I wrote like an extensive article. I think it was like 3,000 words of the track that he's on and how he's on the track to be a Hall of Famer. And it's kind of funny because at that time, a lot of people, even Braves fans, were like, no way, he's not going to be a Hall of Famer. He doesn't have no time left. Now he's over on the Dodgers and he's still just as consistent or better. And all of a sudden people are talking about his Hall of Fame. The dude's been on the Hall of Fame track for years. And the one positive for him going to the Dodgers is he's starting to get more recognition. And I'm happy for him because there's no one has been as consistent as he has over his career. I can't think of it. You could argue Bryce Harper and maybe Mookie Betts. That's about it. Aaron Judge has not been around as long. You could throw him up there too.
Yeah.
But even he's had a down year every once in a while. But Freddie Freeman is up there with Freddie Freeman, Bryce Harper, those type of guys. There really isn't a more consistent hitter, at least hitter, than Freddie Freeman, and his stats add up. He's going to be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, no doubt, man. And I'm right there with you. I am happy for Freddie Freeman getting the recognition that he most definitely deserves. And we're talking about a guy who there's no question of what happens with him off the field, right? Like, he's a great guy. All the fans love him, except for the little window. Us Braves fans, for the most part, didn't have the most healthiest.
I don't got to link to him. He's been a villain, on my end,
Yeah, he's been a thorn in the Philly side.
Great player and stuff, but he's not on my team. Kind of guy if he was on my team, I root for him. But if he's not, I ain't gonna root for him.
Sam, before we let you go, a little start bench cut here, manager style. Let's do Brian Snitker, Dave Roberts, and Craig Counsell.
I'm gonna say I'll give the slight edge to Craig Counsell just because I don't think he has the team behind him that Roberts does. You said Dave Roberts, right?
Yeah, Dave Roberts.
Yeah. Just Roberts is obviously an excellent manager, but he has more help because he's got one of the best analytics departments we've ever seen. So for Craig Counsell to do what he's doing without the team behind the team of people behind him that Dave Roberts has, it kind of makes me want to lean towards Counsell.
So you would start Counsell, then bench Brian Snitker or Dave Roberts?
Oh yeah, I would. Yeah, I would bench Dave Roberts and cut Brian Snitker.
Oh, man. Hey, just had to throw him in there for the equation.
It's his last year.
You think it's Snit's last year, Sam?
He's made some very questionable decisions.
I predicted that. That was my hot take before the season even started. So he's making it look really good right now. It's aging very well, like a fine wine.
There you go. He's making hot sauce with your hot take right there. Hey, Sam, thanks so much for your time, my friend.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Sam Peebles, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to take a quick time out here. When we get back, we're going to have Wright State Chris, who is right now currently traveling to Tallahassee for Wright State and Vanderbilt. Don't miss what he's got on the college baseball regionals right here on ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Atlanta Braves play here.
Ronald Acuna Jr. is back. On the first pitch to Acuna, he swings. He drives one. Pushing way back. Holy smokes! And tonight, the Atlanta Braves kick off a 3-game series versus the Boston Red Sox. Coverage from Truist Park coming up at 6 on your spot for the A's.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with Friday's weather forecast. A likelihood of thunderstorms and very light showers the rest of the day with temps near 85 and a wind 13 to 17 miles per hour. A mixture of mostly clouds and a likelihood of thunderstorms tonight, a gentle breeze and a temperature of 72. About the same tomorrow, around 83 with mostly sunshine. Mostly sunny Sunday and quite warm around 84. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Tired of boring merch and want your brand to stand out like the big names? Elevate your look with Red 7 Tees. They don't just print shirts, they create bold identities. They are a veteran-owned custom apparel shop providing the kind of detail that turns heads, using high-quality digital printing and embroidery to give you that unique style you love with no minimums or cookie-cutter designs. From small business to sports teams, if you've got a vision, they'll help you wear it proudly. Visit red7tees.com.
When you bring your vehicle to Panama City Toyota for repairs or maintenance, you'll get the warmest welcome around.
That's because we see service differently.
It's not only an expert team that can help with everything, from simple adjustments to a new set of tires. It's also a team that values your time, so we make your experience as quick and comfortable as possible. Because we're committed to service that goes beyond. Only at Panama City Toyota.
Broadcasting from the CBC Construction Studios. Doing what other stations can't. The Afternoon Underdogs is live and local. 850-215-6290.
When you've completed dialing, listen for the ringing signal.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
We're back in the Doghouse. The Doghouse is built by CBC Construction. Give them a call at 850-747-3815 or visit their website at cbcconstruction.com. Our call-in question of the day: what's one song that immediately takes you back to high school? Text that in to 850-215-6290. That is the Red 7 Tees phone line, which is where we're going directly back to with Wright State Chris. Wright State Chris, my man, what's going on, bro?
Well, I just got past Youngstown. I'm hitting some rain, so if you hear a lot of rain and you need to hang up on me, I get it.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. I kind of already had that in my mind. I hadn't given the signal yet to Bone Crusher, but if we run into any issues here because you're traveling, then, yeah, we'll dump the call and make do with what we can here. But, hey, you know, if I fall asleep because of the sound of rain during the interview, then that is on you. So I'll have my people call your people. Let's just kind of go through the regionals. First off, you're headed up there to Tallahassee, right, for the FSU regional. You've got, wait, no. Wait, what game are you going to?
No,
yeah, you're going to
I'm
Mississippi State. That's who you're going to see.
Yeah, Mississippi State Northeastern, so I'm going to see.
Yeah,
Yep.
That's right, because you played baseball with the interim coach right now for Mississippi State at Wright State.
Yeah.
All right. So, with that being said, what's something interesting? What stands out to you about this Tallahassee regional?
You know, just the fact that Mississippi State's a 3 seed right now, and I think they're the 3 seed, but Northeastern's ranked number 19 in the country right now, and they're out of Boston. So first and foremost, I was reading up on Northeastern, and this is the 11th time their coach has made a regional, and they've had an at-large bid before, and so them being good at baseball is no shocker if you've been following the sport and just reading up on them. But, right now, it's, Florida State's trying to get back to where they were under their coach that they had for a long time, and they finally had to move on from him. So, but, just interested to see who's going to show up. Right now it's in a rain delay between Florida State and Bethune-Cookman in the third inning, and it's tied 2-2. So right now, everything's just kind of, it's the beginning of the regional. They all kind of unfold as you go through them, and right now we're in the beginning of it. So,
what's your plan up there at Tallahassee? Is that to just watch the Mississippi State Northeastern game, or are you going to try to stay for some of the other games?
No, if I get there and the game's going on and I can watch from, the parking lot, I am. But the way they have it, the tickets are digital, so there's no way I can sneak into the first game. I can watch it, so I'm bringing my son with me. And so that's really cool. And so he's going to meet a couple of my buddies that I play college ball with, too, because a couple of them that live in Florida are coming to the game, too.
How is that? I love the small world, you guys playing baseball together and then ending up going to watch one of your former teammates coaching over there at Mississippi State. That's a really cool coincidence happening like that.
what's really crazy is he played high school ball like 20 minutes down the road from me too. So not the guy who's the coach, but the guy that's going to be there. His name's Kyle Mossbarger. He's from Urbana, Ohio, and it's just all. He lives in Fort Myers, so it's all just kind of. It is kind of coincidental and crazy, that us rural Ohio boys end up here in Florida, different parts of Florida, because people in Ohio are like, how close are you to Fort Myers? I'm like, not close at all.
So Urbana is a real town in Ohio. That's like from that movie, right? With like
the real town's Urbana, not Urbana.
Okay.
But yeah, it's no I. But there used to be an Urbana University. It shut down during COVID, and a couple of good baseball players, pitchers. Dave Burba came from Urbana. If you remember Dave Burba back in the day, he's like a '90s pitcher.
I remember the name.
A couple other dudes. Yeah. So,
right on.
But yeah, Urbana was our biggest rival. Whenever we played them in football, someone from their team would come and desecrate our field, and some people from our team would go and desecrate their field. So it's just one of those deals.
So it's not Ed O'Neill, and it's not where Polk High is at then. Okay, I gotcha.
I wish it was Ed O'Neill, but Ed O'Neill is from Ohio. He's from Youngstown, Ohio. So.
Right on.
Who would you say during your time there had the best desecration of a field?
Definitely Urbana. I can't go into it. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I wish I could go into it more, but it was like what was done to both fields is pretty bad by the people that did it. Never me, but it just is one of those things.
It's just one of those things, man. I wish that kids could still do those type of things in a fashion where, wouldn't get them in any type of trouble. Because I like the lighthearted pranks between schools. The problem is that the escalation, it's hard to keep it from escalating. All right, let's go through and pick. Go ahead, Sam.
And you got cameras everywhere now, so it's just hard to keep everything. It's hard to keep it. But anyways, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, there you go. All right, well, let's pick the regionals here as we're talking with Wright State Chris. By the way, if you're wondering why we call him Wright State Chris, is because he played baseball at Wright State. He's a Raider. Vanderbilt in their regional, they've got Wright State, ETSU, and Louisville. Who do you think ends up coming out of that regional?
Wright State, no. You can't. It's hard to go against Vanderbilt because of them winning the SEC, them having the horses to go. The fact that you can win an SEC tournament means A, you've got the pitching, and B, you can definitely get some runs across. So you got a stable of arms that can come out of the bullpen and take care of business if necessary. So, but Louisville's a black is it black horse, dark horse?
I guess they're pretty much synonymous, but normally we say dark horse around here. Southern Miss in their regional. This is a fun one right now. Miami is on top of Alabama 5-3 in the 6th inning, but Southern Miss boasting a record of 44-14. They'll be taking on Columbia. Who do you think finds their way out of that regional?
I'm going to go with Miami. Just out of the fact that Miami has some prestige. So Southern Miss made a College World Series recently, but I'm going to go with Miami.
I like that take, man. I think I've seen quite a few people taking that. I'm rooting for Alabama because that's my squad there. But Southern Miss, I've been hearing updates all year about them from Will Palfrey, and I'm rooting for them secondarily speaking. So if they make it or Bama makes it, then I'll be fine. But I've heard a lot of good things about Miami baseball. Plus, that uniform is just classic as it gets. Then we'll move to the Tallahassee Regional. Chris, who do you got in this one? Is there a chance? Do you think Jake can take Mississippi State to a super regional, or is it FSU's?
I'm just going to go with the heart pick. I'm going to go with Mississippi State. This is basically his job interview right now. I heard from somewhere, I don't know if it was this morning or whatever, but the Virginia coach is being linked to the Mississippi State job. So this is a big job interview this whole weekend for him. So I hope Justin. Our nickname for him was P, or call him Justin. But I hope P can take it and find himself a nice head coaching job somewhere next year. Hopefully in the ACC or Big Ten.
I'm going to have to go with P moving forward, because I keep on calling him Jake and his name is Justin. I don't know why I'm having that issue. But so this process of a job interview, right? This series to some degree is a job interview. Is that winning a game? Is that taking Florida State to the brink of elimination? Or do they have to get to a super regional for him to be named the head coach at Mississippi State? What are your thoughts, your opinion on that?
I think he has to get to a college World Series if Mississippi State seriously wants to take him. You know, he's 38 years old and has never been a head coach anywhere. It's just one of those things where, you know, it's just you know, nothing that he did wrong. You know,
Right.
it's early in his career.
Yeah, no doubt.
I think he has to go to a college World Series for him to actually be considered for Mississippi State to take the job. Just because Mississippi State is a top 10 brand in baseball, you know. And so they're looking for a top 10 branded coach.
So
go on.
Oh, no, say you finish if you want, but I was going to say, if like, you know, they don't go there, like, who then? Who would you suggest?
Well, he just said, who was it, the coach of Virginia?
The Virginia. Yeah, that's what I heard this morning on Coach Hale's show, actually. I think it was, or maybe it was, you know what, it was, because it was Steve Moss and then the new head coach of Bozeman were on, and their ears a little more to college baseball than Coach Hale's.
But I mean, is that just like rumors, or is that like pretty much like one of those things?
No,
where like,
that's all I've heard. That's all I've heard. I don't know anything else other than that.
Okay.
I heard that on the show this morning.
Right.
So my ear's not to the wire on any of that, because I just, you know, like my other buddy is actually Justin's brother. His name's Jared. He's a pitching coach with the Phillies and the Phillies organization, and he would know more about any of that than I would.
Yeah.
Oregon State, over there to Corvallis. You've got Oregon State, St. Mary's, USC, and TCU. I believe I went with TCU. I was pretty chalky through most of the regionals here, but who are you going with in this one, right, State Chris?
I like Oregon State. When we won our conference tournament in 2016, our regional was at Corvallis, and so I've got a soft spot in my heart for Oregon State. They actually went on to win. We were tied with them 3-3 in the eighth inning, and they hit a 2-run double in the bottom of the eighth. The kid should have struck out. Our pitcher that was pitching, his name is Joe Smith. He actually pitched in the big leagues as a reliever for 8 years. Struck the dude out. Umpire called the ball. Next to it was a 2-run double, and ended up losing 5-3, and they ended up winning the whole darn thing. So I like Oregon State. I got a lot of respect for Oregon State.
All right. North Carolina, who's already got their opening game win over Holy Cross 4-0 over there. North Carolina, Holy Cross, Nebraska, and Oklahoma. Do you see anyone upsetting the ACC champion?
See, I think Nebraska's, I mean, I haven't watched them play, but I've seen the results in the tournament. Nebraska's really good. Like, Nebraska beat Arkansas a couple of years ago when Arkansas was like, took every single series in the SEC. So I'm going to go with a dark horse in Nebraska in that regional.
All right, I'm filling your bracket out for you, by the way. Oregon, Utah Valley, Cal Poly, or Arizona. Who do you like in Oregon's regional?
Oh man, that's a tough one.
It really is.
Because Arizona, I think they ended up winning the Big 12, or they were in the championship game. So, but I'm going to take the Big 12 over the Big 10. So I'm going with Arizona there.
Ooh, that's a good pick. I've seen that one kind of go both ways.
They're beating Cal Poly right now 3-0.
They are?
Yeah, that's what I saw on the bottom line.
And I'm going with Oregon in that one, but so you'll take Arizona. Yeah. Let's move on here to Coastal Carolina. They've got Fairfield, East Carolina, and Florida. East Carolina already took care of business against Florida today, 11-6. Who do you have winning that regional?
Since Florida already lost a game, I don't think they've got the pitching to come back. So I'm going to go with Coastal on this. Eastern Carolina, they're very good. You're always going to find a sneaky Carolina team or a sneaky California team come and win a regional that you don't expect. But I'm going to go with Coastal on this one. And I realize they're hosting, but I'm going to go with Coastal on this one.
There you go. The next one, Auburn hosting. They've got Central Connecticut State, Stetson, and North Carolina State. And Stetson was up big on North Carolina State 7-0.
Well, I got to go with Auburn in that one. You know, they're hosting. I heard I wish I would have been able to go to their stadium, but obviously I told you I had to miss out on that game because of a medical emergency. But and I'm doing better, by the way. But I'm going to go with Auburn on that one. I would pick NC State, but I think they're going to lose this game.
Yeah, definitely glad to hear that you are doing better, man. That was a little bit of a scary.
Crazy
for you, a very scary situation. But we were hearing about it a day or so later, and thankfully, at that point in time, things had kind of settled down a little bit. Texas, taking on Houston Christian, Kansas State, and UTSA. Do you see UTSA or Kansas State maybe coming out of that regional, or will it be Texas?
From what I've seen in the Big 12, Kansas State was good, but they weren't great. So I don't think they can contend with Texas. Texas was pretty good all year round. I think they started stumbling a little bit at the end. I think Texas was ranked number 1 there. I think at the beginning of the year, a lot of the close 50-50 SEC games bounced their way. So I'm gonna go with Texas, especially because they're hosting.
UCLA, they've got Fresno State, Arizona State, and UC Irvine in their regional. Who wins this one to move on and play the Longhorns?
Who was the other, besides UC Irvine, who was the other Cal team?
Fresno State.
Fresno State, oof. I so want to pick one of the other teams besides UCLA. Let's just go Fresno.
Fresno State. Doing it for David Carr, huh?
Yeah, well, you know, like, people don't remember Coastal Carolina won the national championship, like, back in 2016. But if you remember, Fresno won it back in, like, 2008. They were the first non-big conference school to win the College World Series in a long time. So I think it was the year I graduated, too. Fresno State ended up winning, and it was kind of a shocker to everybody. So I'll go Fresno.
I like it. Ole Miss hosting a regional. They've got Murray State, Western Kentucky, and Georgia Tech in theirs. Which team moves on?
I'm doing this for my boss. I'm going Ole Miss.
Ole Miss. All right. Hotty toddy there. They've gotten pretty hot down the stretch as well. Then moving on to Georgia. They've got Binghamton, Oklahoma State, and Duke in their regional.
I like I said, same thing with Oklahoma State in the Big 12. They were good, not great. I don't think Duke was great either in the ACC. I mean, they were good. But they're not going to get to a super regional like they did the last couple of years. So I'm going to go with the host team there.
Final four regional here. We've got LSU, Little Rock, Rhode Island, and one of my favorite schools each and every year, DBU, Dallas Baptist. Who wins that one?
You know, I'd love to go with Dallas Baptist. You know, I should go with Dallas Baptist, but I've seen LSU play and I know what they bring. And they're hosting, and that stadium is perennially the most filled out stadium of any stadium in all of college baseball. So I'm going to go with LSU at the Alex Box Stadium.
And then taking on LSU will be one of these 4 teams as Clemson, USC Upstate, Kentucky, or West Virginia. Will it be a Tiger versus Tiger Super Regional, or what do you think there?
Let's go the Mountaineers. Throw it out there. They got a couple of really good hitters on their team. Let's just go West Virginia. Let's be frisky with it a little bit.
I like it. Take me home, country roads. Tennessee, Miami of Ohio, Cincinnati, and Wake Forest. Who do you have coming out of that one?
Cincy got a good winner earlier today. Yep. There was a lot of runs scored in that game. That was good. I don't think Cincy's got the arms though. In the Big 12, they were. I'd love to go with Cincinnati. I'd love to go with the Red Hawks of Miami, where my brother lives. But I got to go with the defending national champions in Tennessee.
Yeah, they're. I don't know. Tennessee's kind of one of those Jekyll and Hyde teams, as we've been talking a little bit about the last few weeks, but you just never know what you're going to get out of the Volunteers. Our final regional, Arkansas, North Dakota State, Creighton, and Kansas. Who moves on to take on the Volunteers?
Just real quick, for people that don't know, Tennessee, their top lefty pitcher is going to be either the 1 or the 2 pick in the draft. It's either him or it's Jackson Holliday's younger brother is going to be the first overall pick, one of those 2. But anyways, I'm going to go with what were the 4 again?
Arkansas, North Dakota State, Creighton, and Kansas.
Yeah, it's hard to go against Arkansas in the regional. They usually mess up in the super regional. I'd love to go Creighton. I know they got good ball there, but I'm going with chalk on that one too. Arkansas, a lot of SEC schools, I know.
Yeah,
I'd love to pick against them, but I can't.
I mean, hey, good is good, right? Absolutely. Hey, Wright State Chris, enjoy the rest of your travel up there to Tallahassee. Enjoy the game tonight. If hopefully they do get that in, and y'all be safe on your way back, and enjoy the time with your former baseball buddies.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. We'll have a good time, and hopefully the rain delay doesn't have too long. And I appreciate you giving me a call, and thanks, y'all, and y'all have a great weekend too. All right.
There you go. Wright State Chris, ladies and gentlemen. Always fun to have him on with us talking all things college baseball. You're right on with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida. When we get back, I'll finally ask the trivia question that I've had in the show sheet for 3 days.
ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the Coach James Hale Show.
Catch Hale. You do have a female. I got to ask you a couple questions, and we'll give you.
You didn't know you need to say it is a man's world.
There you go. She got it right. Yeah. We got a winner, correct?
Good morning.
Who is this?
Don. I'll go. If you talk about anything interesting, I'll call back.
Weekday morning, 7 to 9. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with Friday's weather forecast. A likelihood of thunderstorms and very light showers the rest of the day with temps near 85 and a wind 13 to 17 miles per hour. A mixture of mostly clouds and a likelihood of thunderstorms tonight, a gentle breeze and a temperature of 72. About the same tomorrow, around 83 with mostly sunshine. Mostly sunny Sunday and quite warm around 84. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Ellis Agency Insurance has been serving Panama City and Bay County for years. They offer a full line of affordable insurance coverage of all types. Many people are attracted to Ellis Agency Insurance because of their friendly, knowledgeable staff. Call independent agent Johnny Ellis for a true comparison of your personal or business insurance. Ellis Agency Insurance at the Old Cullen Insurance location, 1134 Harrison Avenue, across from Dandy Donuts and Deli. Call 763-1627.
CBC Construction is looking for a few good men. At CBC Construction, our greatest strength lies within our talented team. Join us and be a part of a dynamic company that values its people. We offer a tremendous opportunity to create a future for your family and the Florida Panhandle. CBC Construction is now hiring. Call us at 850-740-3815 or visit cbcconstruction.com to learn more. CBC Construction. Be part of a winning team.
You found us inside the CBC Construction Studios. From the diamond to the end zone, from the studio to the sideline, we're the destination for sports on the Gulf Coast. ESPN Northwest Florida. Now back to the Afternoon Underdogs.
We are back. We're in the doghouse. We are live and local from the CBC Construction Studios. You can call them at 850-747-3815. And you can also call or text the Afternoon Underdogs on the Red 7T's phone line, which is
850-215-6290.
They are the brand that brands you. That's the Red 7T's phone line. And you can text in the call-in, text-in question of the day. What's one song that immediately takes you back to high school? I'm trying to draw this out as long as we can before we start talking about it. I'll probably dive into that at the top of hour number 2. What's one song that immediately takes you back to high school? Text that into the Red 7T's phone line, 850-215-6290. Chris Gollin coming up at 5:20. We're going to be talking American League Baseball with him, and then NHL, NBA playoffs at 5 o'clock, along with our text-in, call-in question of the day. Trivia question for this afternoon. What NBA player has played in the most career NBA playoff games without winning a championship. What NBA player has played in the most career NBA playoff games without winning a championship? I'm David Hayes along with Caveman Rick and the Bone Crusher. This is Atlanta Braves Country. Braves baseball on ESPN Northwest Florida. Brought to you locally by Bill Bird Kia, PCB Hobby, Panama City Toyota, Hewitt Tire and Auto, and Hometown Towing. And it's the Braves taking on the Red Sox for the first game of a 3-game set. Coverage starting at 6 o'clock for a first pitch of 6:15. All right. There we go. Caveman, what are we going to dive into? How about the trade news from the Philadelphia Eagles? Working on a trade right now with the 49ers to send Huff, the pass rusher.
Defensive end, Josh
defensive
Huff.
end. How do you, is that a big piece in your eyes for the Philadelphia Eagles, or is this someone to kind of make room for some of the young talent that y'all have just brewing back there for the Eagles?
I'm kind of wondering what Howie Roseman, like what the plan is for this. We lost a lot of players this offseason on the defensive side of the ball. We did recuperate some players in the draft, and we did make some moves, and, we got, a good talented defensive roster coming back. But because of how good the defense played last year, I would think you'd want to keep as many people from that defense as you could from last year, and then kind of see who can kind of mesh and kind of like meld into what you got going on now. So, and they say it's only going to be like a mid-rounder, so I don't know, what does that say, like a 4th rounder, maybe a 3rd rounder, I guess.
4th or 5th, right?
Yeah, or a 5th. I'm hoping if it's, more to like the 3rd, if we're going to do something like that. So I'm kind of interested in seeing like, what the plan is, if they're going to do this move and then like right afterwards do something else, either with that pick or have something else brewing. Obviously, it can't be done, I think, until June 1st. So you got a few more days before it can actually be finalized and the deal can actually be like technically made. But, like I said, I don't want to say it's a head scratcher, but I am just kind of curious as to seeing what the plan is, because I would think keeping some depth around and some familiarity on the defense would be kind of important.
Kyle, you are on the air right now with the Afternoon Underdogs. How are you doing today?
Hey, what's up, Dave?
Oh, been a long time since I heard your voice. How are you doing, bro?
Yes, sir. How are you guys doing?
Doing
good,
well, man. How are we feeling today after the loss to East Carolina ECU? They're 11-6.
Yeah, it hasn't been a good first game for either the Women's College World Series or the regional.
Yeah, it's been tough, but all I can say is y'all got to hoist a title in, I'm sure, multiple sports, but one that we all know in college basketball. Man, it's been a while since I heard from you. Good to hear from you. Glad that you're still kicking, my friend. What NBA player has played in the most career NBA playoff games without winning a championship?
I do believe that would be Karl Malone.
The mailman. Yes, sir. You can mail that right on in. You just got it correct. I love that little sounder right there. I don't think I've heard that one before. Thank you, Bone Crusher, for playing that. So, Kyle, we're just hooking you up with 12-pack of Buffalo Rock, $25 to not the, but that boot store, and we're going to throw in a ESPN. Well, let's see. Do you got an ESPN Northwest Florida T-shirt or a Golf Plus T-shirt?
I've got a few, but you could throw in a Golf Plus for me, if I guess.
Yeah, there we go. We'll go with a Golf Plus. Kyle, hey, great to hear from you, bro, and glad that you're doing well.
Yes, sir. You too. Have a good day, guys.
All right. Good to hear from him, man. That is great stuff. Hopefully we'll see him over there at the Pop's Pig Pickin' Barbecue, which is going to be over there at the break room, but I am blanking. I'm breaking on the date right now. So I'll grab that paper and we'll
16th, I think. Is that Saturday 16th? Is that it?
It's either June 12th or the June 16th, and that's why I just stayed away from it, and we'll get back to it at the top of hour number 2. I've got it just right there. If I could just reach through the glass, I could grab it. All right, so we talked a little bit about Huff. How about Cooper Flagg? How much do you think that he made in NIL deals last year?
God, man, playing for Duke.
All right.
Like dollar amount?
Yeah, dollar amount. It's a round number, and it's pretty
20 million?
Round. You were way closer than I thought you were going to be. You were way closer than I thought you were going to be. I'm not even going to make you guess again. It's $28 million.
Okay, 28.
$28 million. Is that not wild, though? If you made $28 million, I guess I can look at this two ways. Since you made $28 million, my question is, you're going to be the number 1 pick in the NBA, right? You're in the NBA draft. You're going to be going more than likely to the Dallas Mavericks unless something crazy happens and Dallas decides to trade that pick. And
they do believe in defense over there.
Well,
So there you go.
And they believe in being defensive if you question their motives when what they're doing with trading their superstars. But $28 million is what he made. And I guess where I was getting at, though, is why not go back to school and make another 20? At this point, that $28 million was before we even really knew how legit you were.
But you go back to school, and if you get hurt and you have some career-ending injury,
he got hurt last year.
You're not career-ending.
You're right.
You do something that's really going to mess you up to where you're not going to be able to play anymore. Now that money's not there. The guaranteed money is going to be in the NBA when you sign that deal, and you can parlay that into multiple stuff down the road. The NIL stuff, part of it too, depending on how the deal is wrote. I mean, you got to probably be out there playing. If not, they might, it might be grounds for termination of the deal, depending on how it's wrote up. We don't know. There's no template or format for how these deals are being done. It's still kind of like the Old West, right? So we don't know how it's being structured or how it's wrote up, But making $28 million, it kind of makes sense. I mean, when you think of college basketball, what's one of the first team you think about?
Yeah.
So
it'll be interesting to see too. Was this $28 million for just 1 year, or is this over his
tenure being there?
Well, not even just at Duke, because I'm reading here it was a $13 million deal with New Balance. Shoe deals aren't normally just for 1 year. That's normally for a certain amount of shoes. Right. It's kind of like records, when a label company gets a new artist and then it's you've got to provide this many albums, then you start making a little bit of money per plays, but it's so much smaller than what people actually think that it is. And then he also made $15 million with Fanatics. So I mean, that's pretty impressive. And I get where you come from, the injury side of it. It's just, I think that I would risk the injury in pursuit of the NCAA title. So I get both sides of the argument, but still, $28 million, a lot of money, and he'll be headed to the NBA. I really wanted to see him, and I hate Duke. I don't want to see Duke on top, but I feel like if Cooper Flagg was there for another year, they would.
There's an opportunity possibly, but the way the movement in the NCAA is with teams and players, I mean, one great team this year might be a bottom feeder the next, depending on how things work out. So I don't know. I think, especially the way all that stuff's working out, I think there's more when it comes to viability for equitability and making money. You're better off going to the pros and getting that guaranteed money, I think.
And real quick, before we get to our break, before we get to hour number 2, the Falcons. Not necessarily hot water, but they were on social media this afternoon, and they posted a picture that has been deleted. They had number 3 and number 28 in their uniform standing next to each other, and then quickly deleted.
So somebody made a mistake, I guess, when they were at OTAs, and they had them just standing there. And
yeah, they're standing there. They're posing for the camera, but they've got number 3 and number 28, which one of those is Mike Ford Jr. Not sure who. I'm trying to think off the top of my head who number 3 is for the Falcons, but I can't. And the Falcons are also, not surprisingly, trying to pursue a trade partner for Kyle Pitts. Do you think they'll get that done before the season this year?
Again, it's going to be contingent, like the Aaron Rodgers situation. Oh, yeah. If somebody goes down, somebody has an injury, OTAs, minicamp, preseason game, you have a team that needs a tight end that has a window open. You go out and you make that move because he's the kind of guy. I think there's a lot of coaches out there that'll probably tell you, I could probably make something with this guy. I can turn him into something.
But that's the thing is we've been waiting on that for since 3 years
he got drafted,
yeah, since he got drafted, and it has not happened. But is that a Falcons issue? Or is there a team that could fix them? Let's talk a little bit more about that when we get into hour number 2. What teams do we think Kyle Pitts could fit in with and possibly hit his hype status? You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Atlanta Braves play here.
Ronald Acuna Jr. is back. On the first pitch to Acuna, he swings. He drives one. Pushing way back. Holy smokes!
And tonight, the Atlanta Braves kick off a 3-game series versus the Boston Red Sox. Coverage from Truist Park coming up at 6 on your spot for the A's.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida with your Friday's weather. Tonight there will be a gentle breeze out of the north-northwest, mostly clouds and possible thunderstorms and 72. Sunshine tomorrow morning, about the same, 81. In the afternoon and evening, sunny and a gentle breeze right around 11 miles per hour with a high of 83. About the same at 84 Sunday, and we'll have some sun. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Beach Pizza, formerly Marcy's Pizza, is back with more hours and more pizza. Beach Pizza has new owners and now open every day 11 to 11. Pizza by the slice, whole pies, wings, pretzels, garlic knots, and more choice eats in East BCB. I finally tried a slice and it was a thin crust, totes, cheesy slice of paradise. 8815 B Thomas Drive. Online at beachpizzapcb.com. Call ahead 850-775-4053.
Hi folks, it's Tracy from Tracy's Fine Jewelry. Did you know that we have a master jeweler right here in the store? That's right, she has over 20 years experience in the art of repairing jewelry. Most repairs are done within a week, so don't send your jewelry off for 6 weeks. Bring it to us at Tracy's Fine Jewelry. We size rings and solder chains. We can reset your diamond into a new setting and even custom design. You'll get your jewelry back quickly and looking as good as new. Tracy's Fine Jewelry, Bay County's trusted jeweler for over 50 years.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota.
And that's out of the ballpark.
ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Now, we're live and local inside the CBC Construction Studios. He stuck his head in the microwave and chanted Hot Pocket. Hot Pocket! Caveman Rick is part of the Afternoon Underdogs.
Hope you're drunk or heading home to a trailer.
On ESPN Northwest Florida.
Caveman and the microwave, as AJ Smith-Shawver, I'm seeing there on the bottom of the ticker for ESPN. Torn UCL, so more than likely headed for Tommy John, and we thought that last year was a tough year for the Atlanta Braves and the injuries, and it seems to be the gift that keeps on giving this year.
Give Brock Purdy a call. Maybe give you some advice.
Well, there you go. Probably not throw the ball when defenders are right next to your elbow so that you don't smack your arm on their helmet whenever you're moving, when your throwing arm is moving forward. I'm David Hayes along with Caveman Rick and the Bone Crusher. Bama still down here in the top of the 8th inning, 5-3. Lots of great college baseball regionals on right now, though, and even Wright State Chris headed over there to Tallahassee. Shoot, give us a text on the Red 7T's phone line, 850-215-6290. If you are one of the local people from Bay County headed up there to Tallahassee to cheer on the Florida State Seminoles, or whatever team it is. If you're going to any college baseball regional, let us know and send us some pictures. We might even feature you on ESPN Northwest Florida's Facebook page. We're live and local from the CBC Construction Studio. Go to cbcconstruction.com for all of your construction needs. Calling question of the day. What's one song that immediately takes you back to high school? For me, it's really anything with Lil Wayne or what's that band? It's a song that has now become more popular on Secondhand Serenade. Tonight will be the night that I will fall for you. That's started to become a lot more popular, being used on TikTok memes and whatnot. And
I don't even know what song you're talking about.
Yeah, no, it's. I think that is not necessarily in your genre of rock,
right.
But it is. It would be. I don't know. This would be like singer-songwriter music, in my opinion. But anyways, that was something that was played in my earlier high school years, and then I would say, pretty much anything Lil Wayne, or. Let's go with the Millie being the number one song I would say that I heard the most of in high school. And then probably, I don't know, one that's not as popular these days. How about Mims, This Is Why I'm Hot? I felt like that was played everywhere. We've got a lot of Facebook answers to get to. How about you, Caveman Rick?
Well, when I was in high school, I was what some of the people might have called back then a headbanger.
Yeah.
So I listened to a lot of like heavy metal, like rock and stuff like that. My hair's long now, but it was kind of like long back then, but not nowhere near like it is now. I had aforementioned, back in the day, mullet, I guess, if you will. But for me, it was, probably something by somebody like Metallica, probably a song like Master of Puppets or something like that from back in high school. I used to ride around when I had my first car and stuff, too, and I was like 17 years old, blaring, heavy metal music. You can hear me coming from like a mile away. But then, same time, too, we're talking like mid-90s. There was a lot of other different stuff out there, too. So maybe there's something like, a lot of those 90s, acts like, Nirvana or like Alice in Chains or something, too,
How about you, Bone Crusher? You got, is there a song or maybe an artist that takes you right back to your high school days?
Man, I remember the mullet. I think it's making a comeback.
Yeah.
Yeah, business in the front, party in the back. One of the Braves pitchers has a pretty nice mullet.
Oh, there's one that's got like the curly long hair, like that.
That looks like Danny Powers.
Danny McBride, Danny Powers, yeah.
Danny McBride.
That's Grant Holmes. That's who's going to be pitching tonight. I'm trying to think of who's got the mullet, but the mullet has absolutely came back.
Is it a permed mullet? I mean, that's
or you got like Max,
I think that's a good
or you got like
way
Max
to look
Strong,
at it.
like from Philly too. He's got the long hair and stuff. So
yeah. I mean, that Master of Puppets album came in, Rick. That was one of my very first albums. I got that 6 for a penny. That was one of my first records.
6 for a penny?
Yeah, remember those record deals?
No, like when I had it, I mean, obviously, I had a cassette tape of Master of Puppets. So, I mean,
that on vinyl.
Yeah, vinyl, that's cool. I mean, but I come from I don't say a different era, same thing, but I don't know. That was, an 80s album. Master of Puppets was like 86. Yeah. I was listening to it 9 years later, 8 years later, 94, 95.
When you was in high school.
Yeah, but it's still that kind of music and stuff like that. But that was the time too, when that kind of music was kind of getting canceled out by the grunge kind of stuff that was kind of taking over around the mid 90s and all that. So the metal and the glam metal and hair bands and all that stuff started phasing out, and then it was kind of taken over by the grunge and the 90s kind of a thing. And unfortunately, since then, it's kind of never really came back, I guess, if you will.
All right, there you go. Ryan Mathis has got Wherever I May Roam.
Metallica, yeah, but it sounds off of Metallica. I mean, I don't want to,
Here it comes.
I've been trying to. I've had too many guests on today to let him out of the cage.
Man, it just too much. If you're a Metallica fan and if you consider yourself a Metallica fan, I don't think you should name that album, because when you have that type of music, like I was saying, and it was getting to where your top 40 stations were playing songs like Enter Sandman, that's where it pissed me off, because it's this is my music, this is the kind of stuff I like, and you're playing the same stations that were playing club music and you know what I mean? Get the hell, what are you doing? So when I started happening, I didn't want to listen to stuff like that anymore. Actually, now when I listen to a lot of the tunes that are off of that Metallica album, I want to just change the channel. I want to throw it out the window. It literally makes me sick. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, I remember those angry Metallica fans.
But if you're a Metallica fan, the first 4 albums are where it's at. Anything after Injustice for All, garbage. Total garbage. That's why I'm not a Metallica fan anymore.
Also, so because of what radio stations did?
Well, it wasn't just radio stations. It was MTV. It was the whole a lot of that stuff got too embraced. You know what I'm saying? This was music that right before then you had angry parents. You even had who was it? Tipper Gore. Al Gore's wife and somebody else, they were having all these big rallies about getting rid of heavy metal music and the degradation of America's youth, and somebody even tried to bring a lawsuit up against Ozzy Osbourne for the song Suicide Solution, their kid listened to the song and then killed himself, and just idiocracy type stuff, oh yeah, that's what's causing problems when people don't even listen to this music, because and I don't want to get all real tangent or rant, but bands like Iron Maiden, you listen to stuff like there. If you had half a brain and you listen to their music, you'll actually get educated. They write songs about world history, about Greek mythology, about literature, writers like H.P. Lovecraft and stuff. So if you put their music in, you're going to get something out of it. It's not just because they have an album called Number of the Beast. Oh yeah, they're all devil worshippers. All the music's all about bringing demons into the world to take people down, and come on, man, grow up. It's music, Yeah.
I
mean, a lot of pop music that you listen to nowadays, it's on top 40 stations. It's all code. It's innuendo. If you listen to what they're saying, when they say I want candy.
Yeah.
They're not talking about gumdrops and lollipops. They're talking about blow. Okay, when they're talking about like they want to like hold a girl's hand and dance the night away, they're not talking about dancing. They're wanting to go to bed with them. So like read between the lines, people.
Yeah, it's all different genres of music.
So like, if you're going to look at one kind of a music like that and you're going to say it's bad for this reason, well, you need to look at the other kind of stuff and see what they're really saying and what they're spouting out too, and take it for what it's worth.
Passing unfair judgment on music that they probably don't even listen
ignorance.
to.
That's what I'm saying. Really, it's a lot of it's probably ignorance.
Yeah. I would imagine that, and I think that certain types of heavier metal, just off of, especially when you add the screaming into it or whatever, I think people just go ahead and
hardcore.
judge
I don't
it
even listen to
without-
that stuff. I
Yeah.
listen to like more like melodic type stuff. I'm just saying like people have that that idea in their head. Just like listen to people listen to some like rap music and other stuff like that too, and they get an idea in their head about what is going on in the music without really listening to it either. Check it out.
Check it out. What's it all about? We've got a centerfold by Jay Giles. I don't know who is Jay Giles. I'm not going to have time to, if you don't know it, I'm not going to go around.
I think there's a
Googling
song
it.
called Centerfold. I don't know if that's what he's talking about.
But centerfold, isn't that No? Okay. Well, then I am wrong about that. Maybe maybe we'll Google if I get you on another rant of some sort. How about Sister Christian Night Ranger?
I've heard of them before.
All right.
That's like it's like glam metal.
All right. Lynn Haven Rob, Anything from Boston. And the song that he gives, More Than a Feeling, which I know about that song because of Guitar Hero. That's what I was so thankful about Guitar Hero, because I learned more about, classic rock just from playing that game. We've got Ohio Is for Lovers by Hawthorne Heights. That was a band that you probably didn't like.
Heard of it before,
I liked the what would you call it? Like pop punk, I guess.
Maybe something like that.
Yeah, like
emo music. Yeah,
you call it what? Yeah, emo music. I love that style of rock. And of course rap for the most part, country. Really, I don't have any genre type lines. We've got a Heaven on Fire by Kiss, and then Trevor said the song David was singing might be Limelight by Rush.
That's the one I thought you were doing with the music. It might have been. Yeah, but I mean, I don't know if that's what you were going with.
Oh, I'm thinking of John Fogerty. Is it
John Fogerty?
I think that's a song that I'm thinking of anyways.
Okay,
yeah.
Stuff, so I don't know. A lot of our listeners, though, mentioning a lot of rock music, which is kind of good. I was like kind of thinking that we'd be hearing a lot of different stuff. I thought, some of our listeners would be saying something like Hank Williams Jr. or like Willie Nelson or something like that. So like hearing some of this stuff is pretty refreshing. I'm like, hell yeah, this is all right.
Listen to some Bo Cephas now.
Hey, there you go. Boston Tim's got Who Let the Dogs Out.
There you go.
Ooh, that song, man. I remember the first time I ever heard that song. I was riding in the car with my dad, riding in the truck with my dad, and hearing that, I'm just like, this is awesome, because normally if I was in my dad's truck, it was either preaching, sports radio, Rush Limbaugh, or preaching, or actually most music he would listen to, and he's not feeling good, so thoughts and prayers with my dad. But Pirates of the Caribbean soundtrack. He was like notorious for soundtracks. I was like, dude, what is this? But then I'd be getting to ride and dum da da dum da da dum. I'm like, all right, I feel the vibe. Jacob Baxter, Pretty Fly for a White Guy.
That's what's that? Offspring.
Offspring, yeah.
I remember that, I remember that song, yeah, and like a lot of stuff too, like back at like my age too, anything by like the Chili Peppers off of Blood Sugar Sex Magic. That was a pretty popular album. A lot of people listened to a lot of stuff off of that when I was in high school.
The host with the most of the Inside Drive, Ryan Mulvey's got In the Club by 50 Cent. That was a little bit before my high school, but I believe that was on Get Rich or Die Trying, and that was one of the first CDs that I ever got. Nick Baldwin, Two Princes by Spin Doctors.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, if you want to be my
That was
baby.
around when I was in high school and stuff like that, too. It was off of that movie, Mike Myers. So I Married an Axe Murderer. That's what I was thinking about. Yeah,
I was not thinking of that movie. Big Cloud. He's going with Nothing But a G Thing with Snoop and Dr. Dre.
They got a drink coming. Do you see that? They have a new, I think it's like an alcoholic drink, gin and juice. I think it's what it's called or something. I just saw a commercial. Man, I was like when I was in the booth the other day, like on Wednesday afternoon. What? I think it's just called like gin and juice. I think.
Is it alcoholic beverage?
Yeah, I think it is.
Okay.
And they got like it looked like there was 4 different flavors, and the packaging looked like it had like a classic car on the front. Because I always caught like just a little bit of it while I was working, and they had like 4 different flavors, and each different flavor had like a different color car on the packaging. And it's something new that both of those guys are collaborating and doing now. I mean, might as well with the name of the song, and all that kind of stuff. It just kind of goes with it. But make some money.
Ethan Hewitt going with "Put On" by Jeezy. I prefer the remix with Kanye and Lil Wayne, but that is a great song. Ian Malone, "Right Now" by Van Halen.
Yeah. That's Ian's the older guy because I mean that was when was that out? Like 91 maybe. Yeah, I'm thinking probably right now.
Ryan Warren going with "Freaky Girl" by Gucci Mane. That's definitely around my high school days as well. And then Rick Ty, Night Fever" by the Bee Gees. And
I know who they are. I'm just like,
I know who they are, but I don't even.
I know
like,
the song too. I'm just thinking like disco.
Can you give? What's the?
No,
give me like
I just know Night Fever. I just know like Yeah.
I have no idea how the song goes. Ryan Mathis says, "How about anything off of Vulgar Display of Power, Pantera, Caveman Rick?"
Yeah, I mean, that was out when I was in high school. So yeah, Pantera. Philip Anselmo's mom lives around here too. So R.I.P. Dimebag Darrell. Pantera, man, it's huge. The only thing I didn't like about that was Cowboys from Hell. Because Cowboys. You know what I'm saying?
Because Cowboys.
Yeah, just because it had the name Cowboys in it. Didn't like it back in the day. It's like, Cowboys.
2 more, and then we're going to get over the Red 70s phone line. Kid Cudi, "Man on the Moon." And Kid Cudi's popularity is rising a little bit right now as he is, or has already, what do you call that when you get up on the witness? Testified in the Diddy trial, which I have no idea how that's going. So we need to get Morgan back on so we can figure that out. And then King Cullen going with Run DMC and Aerosmith, "Walk This Way."
Wow, that's 80s style right there, man. That's back in the day.
Hey, there you go. I think that does it. So let's get over to Eric with an A. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. What do you got for a song that takes you straight back to high school?
What's up, brother? All right, so first of all, I want to say, Caveman Rick, you are 100% correct. You are not a real Metallica fan if you like them after their 4th album.
Nice.
I mean, it's just, get real. Come on.
Yeah.
And the dude that said something about the spin doctors, man, I feel bad for him. I really do. He'll be in my prayers tonight because Lord help him.
I loved that song, man. I loved that song.
I can't believe no one has mentioned anything about Tupac. Like, I mean, for real. Like, I mean, he owned the end of the 90s. I mean, like, for real. And anything off of Nirvana, Unplugged, absolutely, like 100% brings me all the way back. And then my favorite band, the one that, as Caveman Rick was talking about, like actually had something to say, was Tool. If you listen to their music, if you listen to their song, and you actually research what the lyrics actually mean, what they're actually saying, it'll blow your mind.
Yeah.
It'll blow your mind.
Yeah, they're a pretty cool band. Maynard James Keenan, the lead singer, he's like an ordained minister, if I'm not mistaken, and a pretty cool guy in the sense that, Dave was talking about doing like record deals, right? When they get you, like signed into a contract. Well, with Tool, he didn't like the record deal that he was involved with Tool. I don't know if it was through Columbia or who the company was, but he came out with a Perfect Circle, his other band, and he used all the money that he made in Perfect Circle when it originally started to buy himself out of his record deal, and so that he could have creative control of Tool. And so that's what he did with that money.
Do you know that the guitarist for A Perfect Circle is actually the guy from Smashing Pumpkins? You know that?
Oh, what's the Asian guy?
No.
That was the bass player, wasn't it?
I can't think of his name, but the guitarist of A Perfect Circle, he came from them.
Okay.
I've actually seen A Perfect Circle live twice. I've seen Tool live 6 times, but
James
all of that stuff brings you there.
James Eha, yeah. So James Eha, that's the guy, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think he's like an Asian guy, but okay, I remember him from Smashing Pumpkins, so definitely, yeah. And like they put out, like you said, Tool, man. Like I haven't seen them in concert. I've heard their shows though. All the it's not circus, but it's like I don't say like freak show circus, but the kind of like acts and stuff that they would have going on while the music's being played.
Yes, they've got those. Those high swing from the ropes, the people that do all the acrobatics and stuff, like in the ropes,
Mm-hmm.
And I saw them on that tour, but honestly, the best show I've ever seen was them playing in Pensacola, and they didn't have any of that. But it was like Pensacola just brought they brought the thunder, man. Like everybody there knew every word to every song. It's the only time I've ever heard at all 6 concerts that Maynard actually stopped and thanked everyone for being there and reminding them why they do what they do. Like it was an amazing show, like for real. I mean, it was something else. But I also, I want to get back to Tupac. Like how has nobody talked about him yet? Like.
Well,
he's forgotten. He's been dead for 30 years.
No, I think. Well, but that's the thing, though. It's like for me personally, Tupac wasn't someone that I listened to until I was. I would say that I listened to him a little bit before high school, but more of his stuff, him and Biggie, really, I listened to. I would say after I was already out of high school, especially downloading.
Listen,
what's that?
Tupac was the black Eminem. He was so smart, and everything he put he put it down for real. And I don't know. For me personally, as you can tell, obviously I listen to absolutely everything.
Right.
And for me, it's like someone that could speak the truth and make it rhyme at the same time. It just,
look at you go.
He blew me away.
Well, you just did the same thing. Make it rhyme at the same time. Hey, I love it, man. Thanks for joining the conversation and taking us to a break there, Eric, with an A. Go Cam Ward, my friend. And, hey, you know what? Your Canes right now are beating Bama 5-3 in the bottom of the 8th inning here. So,
I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, go Canes for you in that event. But let's go Cam Ward even more so.
Thanks, brother.
All right, that's Eric with an A, ladies and gentlemen. God bless you as well. And thank you guys for all of the texts. We got one more that came in there at the end. No, 2 more. We got, let's see, Breaking the Wall by Pink Floyd and Eye of the Tiger.
There we go.
There you go.
So
good
rocky
stuff. Thank you guys for participating in our call-in, text-in question of the day. Coming up next, we're going to talk some more baseball with Chris Gollin right here on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Come on vacation.
Summer vacation. Hey, how's your vacation going?
Leave on probation.
Sheriff's deputies in Panama City Beach arresting 161 people during an out-of-control spring break weekend.
Welcome to the Emerald Coast. Have a great time at the beautiful beaches, but not like end up in the back of a police cruiser great. A friendly reminder from 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida with your Friday's weather. Tonight there will be a gentle breeze out of the north-northwest, mostly clouds and possible thunderstorms, and 72. Sunshine tomorrow morning, about the same, 81. In the afternoon and evening, sunny and a gentle breeze right around 11 miles per hour with a high of 83. About the same at 84 Sunday, and we'll have some sun. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Tired of boring merch and want your brand to stand out like the big names? Elevate your look with Red 7 Tees. They don't just print shirts, they create bold identities. They are a veteran-owned custom apparel shop providing the kind of detail that turns heads, using high-quality digital printing and embroidery to give you that unique style you love with no minimums or cookie-cutter designs. From small business to sports teams, if you've got a vision, they'll help you wear it proudly. Visit Red 7
red7tees.com.
Get ready for your next adventure and discover Kia at Bill Bird Kia today. Check out the 2025 SUV family. The road is yours. Take a test drive and see the all-new features that elevate any adventure. Now offering 1.9% APR up to 60 months on the purchase of a new 2025 Kia Sportage or a 2025 Kia Sorento. You'll get the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. We'll treat you like family and give you the peace of mind that you can trust. Bill Bird Kia is the home of that 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by and see us at 2435 East 15th Street or anytime at BillBirdKiaPanamaCity.com. See us today.
Offer from Kia Finance America for the purchase of a new 2025 Kia Sportage and a 2025 Sorento with $1,748 per month for $1,000 financed in 60 months. Qualities limited. Cannot be combined with other finance offers not available on balloon financing. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Bird Kia warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer for well-qualified buyers must take delivery from dealer stock through 6/2/25.
Transmitting from the CBC Construction Studio. From the pros to the future pros, we're your home team station for home team sports. Now back to the Afternoon Underdogs. ESPN Northwest Florida.
We are back. This is the Afternoon Underdogs. I'm David Hayes along with Caveman Rick and the Bone Crusher. This is 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Atlanta Braves baseball coming up tonight on ESPN Northwest Florida. Coverage starting at 6 o'clock for a 6:15 first pitch. Grant Holmes going up against Lucas Giolito. Atlanta Braves baseball on ESPN Northwest Florida is sponsored locally by Best Way Portable Buildings, Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, Mid-South Lumber, and by Brock Pest Control. All right, let's get over to the Red 7 Tees phone line. We've got Chris Gollum. We're going to try to stay focused here on the American League. And we've already talked with Sam Peebles a little bit about the National League this afternoon, and specifically the Atlanta Braves. Chris, how are you doing down there in Flagler Beach?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you guys?
We are great. Hope everything is well for you. Your Yankees seem to be playing good baseball as well. What should we expect from that Dodgers-Yankees series this weekend?
Well, I'm really, really excited about that. I think it's going to be a split series. You've got some really well-balanced pitching matchups. Tony Gonsolin in Game 1 for the Dodgers has had some rough starts lately, and he's set to go up against Max Fried, but I still think that's a good one. You got Will Warren, Landon Knack, and then either Ryan Yarbrough or Carlos Rodon versus Yamamoto is going to be a really great matchup, too. And I'm also intrigued by the fact that this is, I believe, the first time in baseball history you're going to have two batting orders facing off, each with three former MVPs. So the amount of star power and talent in this series, it's historic. It really, really is must-see TV for baseball fans. And they've both been phenomenal this year, so I don't think there's any clear favorite for who's going to come out on top.
Yeah, there you go, man. Looking forward to that series to an extent, as we are not huge Yankees nor Dodgers fans for the most part around here. Actually, I take that back. There's way too many Yankee fans in this area, Brian Haddad and Paul Wilson, but we love you guys to the moon and back. Cal Raleigh, is he the best catcher in baseball? The big dumper up to 19 home runs, I believe.
Yes, 19 home runs. I don't really think anyone else has a case at the moment. I think it's pretty open and closed. Cal this year has 3.1 WAR by the Fangraphs calculation. Only one other player has over 2. Raleigh has really solid defense. He's got more home runs on the year than Aaron Judge, and he's getting on base at a higher clip than he has in his career so far. And lest anyone think this is fluky, he has 3 seasons of all-star caliber play coming into this year to say that this is not a fluke. So to me, it's pretty clear-cut. He is the best catcher in baseball, but what do you think?
I think that there's definitely a case to be made for him, especially with the drop-off that we've seen this year from Adley. But is the drop-off, and I don't know the WAR numbers at all right now for Adley Rutschman, but is the drop-off actually Adley Rutschman, or is it because that the Orioles haven't been playing good baseball as a team? Because they have some other guys who have still been playing statistically just fine. They just haven't been able to put it together as a team. Sean Murphy is a guy I'd like to throw in the conversation, but you can't with the way that he's been injured since he's been over there with the Braves. But he's, when he's healthy, he's a consistent catcher in baseball. But yeah, I would lean towards Cal Raleigh. Caveman Rick, do you have? I mean, your catcher over there for the Phillies. I love JT
I could argue
Realmuto,
my guy. I mean, as far as the home runs go, obviously everybody loves a long ball, right? He's got, he's tied for with a league lead. So, yeah, he's impressive. It's just a matter of, can you do it all? Are you just hitting home runs, or are you doing everything else pretty great?
Yeah, that's how is he behind the dish defensively, comparatively speaking?
Oh, he's rock solid defensively. Fangraphs has the only other qualified catcher in baseball with two catchers with comparable defensive numbers as being Austin Wells and William Contreras. So it would be one thing if he's hitting like crazy like this, but the defense was kind of souring it. But that's not even appearing to be the case with Raleigh. So, it's one thing. There's not a lot of holes in his game right now.
Yeah,
I know you don't want to run on Real Muto, but maybe you can steal some bases on Raleigh. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't see his arm stats coming in, I will admit, so I'm not sure how he holds up there. There's a lot that goes into being a great catcher, probably more than any other position.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, more than any other position, I would venture to say, because it's increasingly important what you're doing behind the plate, not just catching runners, but blocking pass balls, also calling the game. Calling the game, which is one of the toughest jobs in baseball. I mean, I just heard a story the other day. I can't remember who the Orioles rookie pitcher, and I believe it was a rookie catcher too, but there was their first year in the league, Cal Ripken Jr. from shortstop would call every pitch for him after, I think, his first start, or maybe going into the first start. He had 33 starts that year, the pitcher did, and Cal Ripken Jr. called every single one for him. Just goes to show how tough.
Yeah, and a lot of it too, you're controlling the pace of the game too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great point there. You know what? While we're on the topic, should MLB teams focus more on the importance of having a great backstop? I know that's always been a high priority for the Braves, so much so that they try to incorporate 2 of them each year. Like stud-worthy catchers, right?
Yeah, so I think it's something where catcher is always one of the thinner positions on the market, because it's so hard on the body. It's so rare that you really get a time in the league where the catcher position is really all that stacked. So, I think the smart move right now for the modern team is draft catchers high, draft catchers in the first few rounds, and invest resources into developing them. Because if you can advance the development of these important tools while these guys are pliable coming out of college and the low A and high A, you could really, because you can really get cases like Austin Wells and Adley Rutschman, where these catchers have come up from the minors and been nearly instant game changers for their team. So it's something where it's not, I wouldn't necessarily say it's something teams should make it a big trade priority or free agent signing priority necessarily, but if you can be a team that can develop catchers, you are going to have a big leg up on the competition.
Great point. We're talking with Major League Baseball writer Chris Gollin. You're listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Take it or trash it. The NL is better, top to bottom, than the American League in the year of 2025.
Well, 2 weeks ago, I would have said the NL was far better. Now I am not so sure. I think we're seeing cracks from teams like the Padres and the Mets. The Braves are still 3 games under 500, which even with the rocky start, we didn't think it was going to go on this long. And I personally think under the hood, the Phillies are going to come down to earth in due time. Meanwhile, the AL's best teams are trending upward. The Yankees, the Mariners, the Tigers, these are all teams that I have no problem envisioning in the World Series and putting up a real fight in the World Series. And then even the Dodgers, who are coming into the season were talking, is this the greatest team ever assembled? Their IL is ridiculously packed right now.
It might be one. It might be the greatest IL ever assembled.
Yeah, no kidding. So right now, the way things are trending at this moment, I think there's a little more momentum behind AL teams and NL teams, but it's more, I'd say, evening out from the way the year started, where I think it seemed a little more National League heavy.
Yeah, there you go. So we asked that same question to Sam. He said that it is the NL right now is a little bit better to top to bottom. Is the American League Central the best division in baseball right now? Is that crazy to say?
It's certainly, it might have the most uncertainty.
Okay.
You can definitely use that and call it the best division in baseball. You've got 4 teams, the Tigers, the Guardians, the Twins, and the Royals, who really can win the division. They're all within 7 games. The Tigers have a good lead. So maybe actually, no, the Tigers are the strong favorites to win the division, but the Guardians, Twins, and Royals are all within a game of each other, and they're right now. The Guardians and Twins have 2 of the wild card spots, so you've got a lot of potential playoff action in the AL Central. I think the Guardians are going to regress a little over time based on stuff like their run differential, but I don't know of any other division in the game other than maybe the NL West. But the Diamondbacks aren't even 500, where you've got this many good teams at once in it. So, yeah, I think they might actually be the best division in baseball.
Yeah, you look at last year, they got, 3 teams into the postseason, and then this year they're the only division with at least 30 wins out of those 4 teams, and then the fifth team in the division is the daggone White Sox. They got 18 wins. That's twice as much as the Rockies. So I find that to be impressive when you're looking at the other divisions, and again, those other divisions might be a little bit tougher because of the competition within, but now with our schedules in baseball, you're not just playing your division over and over and over again. You've got a spread against the rest of the league, American League and the National League. And so when you're looking at other divisions, you're not seeing a bunch of teams who have multiple games over 500. So it's more or less a question rather than one of my takes. But it is interesting to see really both Centrals. The National League Central is not too shabby either, with almost having 4 teams at 30 wins. In fact, the Brewers and the Reds were up pretty big today. They might have already won. I don't know if they've hit 30 wins or not, but they're sitting at 29. What's wrong with the Orioles right now, Chris? Were you surprised, first off, that they let go of Brandon Hyde?
For Brandon Hyde, maybe I'm surprised the trigger was this quick.
Yeah.
But I'm not surprised it got to this point. Brandon Hyde thrived under low expectations in 22 and then in 2023. That was the Erie One Manager of the Year. But I still don't think he's entirely to blame. Baltimore fired their coaching staff after they went 40-41 in the second half last year. I don't know that coaching overhaul addressed what was the issue there. It might have actually made it worse. I think, if anything, you've got the fact Adley Rutschman is batting barely over 200. Gunnar Henderson is at 254, but with 7 home runs, he's capable of far more than that. And Cedric Mullins is also, his production has dropped off a good bit as well. So I think they need to maybe make a few more organizational tweaks, and you've got to have your stars producing. It's great that Jackson Holliday has made so much progress from last year. I think Orioles fans are probably really excited about that, but you can't have everyone regressing in one year like this and expect to compete when one of the other teams in your division is a defending World Series team.
That's a great point. We're on the line with Chris Gollin right now. He's a baseball writer. He's on the line right now with the Afternoon Underdogs on ESPN Northwest Florida. Do you think Tariq Skubal, who is having a great year, had a great year last year, won the 2024 AL Cy Young, do you think that he repeats and goes back-to-back?
Well, it's way too early to pencil him in. But you know what? He, even though he's facing tougher competition among AL starters, Fangraphs' table showed that his expected ERA is only 2 points off of his actual ERA. Whereas when you look at those numbers for other great starters in the AL this year, there are underlying stats showing they might be pitching a little bit better than what the core number suggests. They might be getting some help from their defense, from their ballpark, from just the roll of the dice, from the luck of where the balls are going. And that's going to happen to everyone, but it seems like it's happening the least to Skubal, and he's still right at the forefront of it. So I think if you were to place a bet on it now, I don't think Skubal is at all a bad choice. I think he's an absolute front runner.
Yeah, I would have to if I were to place a bet on it now, which I'm right there with you. It's way too early for any of this stuff, but it's always fun to talk about it and kind of go back and look and see how we did with some of the predictions. But looking at the most fun team to watch in the American League, I know we've talked about that question in the National League before, and I think our answers were pretty much the Chicago Cubs being the most fun team. But when it comes to the American League, regardless of their win-loss record, for you, who's been the most fun team to watch or to kind of keep track of that's not the Yankees?
That's not the Yankees. All right, so I'll go on that one. Cal Raleigh is really exciting to watch. You're getting a lot of extra base hit production from Julio Rodriguez, Jorge Polanco, Randy Arozarena. And they're fun because when they do good, there's no fatigue on the Mariners. It's not like Dodger fatigue, Astro fatigue, Yankee fatigue. I think unless you're in their division and they're your rival, no one minds seeing the Mariners succeed like this and surge a little bit. So I have to say them.
I like that answer. I mean, I think the A's are a little bit surprising as well, but their fans in Sacramento don't even want to go there and see them. And I guess that has a little bit to do with how the A's handled the offseason, saying, they didn't want to make Sacramento their home. They're ready to get to Vegas and all that stuff. And the support has not been much from Sacramento, but that's what you get when you handle things that way. Start, bench, or cut question for you, Chris. Jose Ramirez, Rafael Devers, or Alex Bregman. Let's change up. Give me another third baseman, Caveman Rick. Jose Ramirez, Rafael Devers. Alex Bregman is injured, so let's go. Who's playing third right now for the Orioles?
Let me make sure I don't miss.
Because Westberg, they got him playing third or second sometimes.
Let's see. It would appear, Westberg's also on the IL, though. So
is he back, or did he never get off of it? Because I've been holding on to him in fantasy. Oh, that's right. He's been on it for a little while, because I thought it was the 10-day, and they might have moved it up to the 60-day, but he's been on there for a while. So let's go Jose Ramirez, Rafael Devers, and... Oh, man, I'm trying to think of someone who would fit in with this. Let's go with...
I ran Manny Machado for fun while I was doing this. I don't know if that...
All right, let's do Manny Machado. We'll throw in the Padres third baseman. He fits in with them, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah, I forgot we were doing AL.
It's all right. We'll take Manny. Manny will work right here.
Yeah, so I didn't know you were going to take Bregman out of my hands here. My start is Jose Ramirez. I have the most faith in his consistency. He never worries. I don't even have to think about whether or not he's going to have a great year. My bench was Alex Bregman. Now I have to think, do I want...
Do you go Machado or you go Devers?
Doing a quick number skim in real time here. I think I'll probably bench Machado and then cut Devers.
Yeah, I would be in the same boat as you, Chris. Outside of, I think my decision would be more difficult with Jose Ramirez and Manny Machado, but it's obviously you got to go J-Ram, and that goes to how underappreciated Jose Ramirez is, I think, across the league, because he does this. You mentioned the word consistent. He's the epitome of consistency in baseball.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, he seems like he is always on the outside looking in for, MVP. He's never... he looking at it, he has 1, 2, 3 for 5 times he's finished in the top 5 in MVP voting. He's never won it. But I don't know how many other guys in the league have finished in the top 5 times. So he's just always producing. He's really deceptively quick. I kind of just noticed that in the last few years. The dude's really, really fast.
He's got quick hands, too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, Jose's probably, he might be the best third baseman in baseball, by my opinion. That's not a hot take. Yeah, Jose's the best third baseman in baseball.
Okay, man, what about Alec Bohm? No,
he's got a lot of work.
All right, let me ask you this about the hot corner. Could you see Jazz Chisholm coming back from the injured list and playing the hot corner for the Yankees when he does return?
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. It seems that Boone wants to have Chisholm at third, LeMahieu at second. Both of them are interchangeable in those positions. They have experience at both. They both can play it competently. But in looking at the StatCast numbers I saw last year, Jazz Chisholm averaged 85.3 miles an hour throwing from third versus 78.6 by LeMahieu. That is almost a full 7-mile-an-hour difference. So I think that arm strength might be part of why they want to have Jazz there, even if he'd be losing a little bit of range compared to LeMahieu.
Yeah, that's a great point right there. Just the arm power there of Jazz Chisholm over DJ LeMahieu. Do you feel like Jazz gives you a little bit more range at second base for turning 2?
Over LeMahieu?
Yeah.
I think it's probably pretty comparable in that regard. They're both really outstanding defenders at that position. Without looking at any defensive numbers, if I had to pick, I'd probably actually want LeMahieu there. But it's really, you're not going to go wrong with either one of them at second.
There you go. And one more trip back from the injured list. Mike Trout, he is going to get ready to return. Will the Angels make the postseason if Mike Trout stays healthy?
If the Angels make the postseason this year, no matter what Mike Trout does, I will eat my outdated Juan Soto Yankee jersey.
All right.
Going to happen. This is far from the best Angels team that Mike Trout has had around him. This is far from the best Mike Trout has been in his career. You've got Nolan Schanuel, who's good, but outside of him, you got Zach Neto and Logan O'Hoppe, decent. They don't really walk, so I don't know when Trout's going to really be. He's not going to be driving them in all that much. No one's producing. No one's producing at the plate outside of kind of those 3 guys. It's just not enough when there's this much heat on the AL wildcard race.
I'm right there with you. I just had to ask you the question. Now, they have dropped 5 in a row, but before that, they were sitting at 500, which I just found to be very impressive for an Angels organization who doesn't seem to do much except for, since they've got Ron Washington, anyone that the Braves DFA or doesn't want anymore, they find a home over there in the Angels. They're the West Coast Braves.
Simmons, they've been doing that for a good bit now.
Yeah.
They did sweep the Dodgers. I'll give them that.
We'll take it. I don't root for the Angels at all, but I do like Ron Washington, and he did a lot for the Braves organization. Chris, enjoy that Dodgers-Yankees series, and thanks so much for your time, my friend.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me on again.
There you go. That's Chris Gollum. We'll catch up with him next week talking some more Major League Baseball. You're at him with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida. Final segment of the week coming up next.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Atlanta Braves play here.
Ronald Acuna Jr. is back.
On the first pitch to Acuna, he swings. He drives one. Pushing way back. Holy smokes!
And tonight, the Atlanta Braves kick off a 3-game series versus the Boston Red Sox. Coverage from Truist Park coming up at 6 on your spot for the A's.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Cold, creamy, and gourmet. Milkshake Factory is now open at Breakfast Point Marketplace near Publix next to First Watch. Unbelievably delicious handcrafted milkshakes and chocolates like the famous chocolate bark. Try the mouth-watering chocolate-dipped strawberry shake. Family-friendly fun and unforgettable shakes await. Milkshake Factory now open at Breakfast Point Marketplace near Publix next to First Watch on Back Beach. Milkshake Factory.
Signworks, a business serving businesses since 1985. Everything from signs and banners, vehicles and boats, magnetic and real estate signs, contractor signs, and much more. Signworks can do large format, full color printing too. Signworks, a real professional in the business world. Call Signworks at 785-8899. Signworks, 850-785-8899.
Get ready for your next adventure and discover Kia at Bill Bird Kia today. Check out the 2025 SUV family. The road is yours. Take a test drive and see the all-new features that elevate any adventure. Now offering 1.9% APR up to 60 months on the purchase of a new 2025 Kia Sportage or a 2025 Kia Sorento. You'll get the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. We'll treat you like family and give you the peace of mind that you can trust. Bill Bird Kia is the home of that 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by and see us at 2435 East 15th Street or anytime at BillBirdKiaPanamaCity.com. See us today.
Offer from Kia Finance America for the purchase of a new 2025 Kia Sportage and a 2025 Sorento with $1,748 per month for 1,000 financed in 60 months. Quantities limited. Cannot be combined with other finance offers not available on balloon financing. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Bird Kia warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer for well-qualified buyers. Must take delivery from dealer stock through 6/2/25.
Now, we're live and local inside the CBC Construction Studios. When the sun sets on the Emerald Coast, the freaks come out and play.
Hi, I'm a recovering crackhead.
Hand me that shotgun.
The Afternoon Underdogs.
Get on your knees!
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. We're live and local from the CBC Construction Studios. You can give them a call at 850-747-3815 or go to their website, cbcconstruction.com. Wright State is on top of Vanderbilt. Wright State, Chris, if you do so happen to still be listening, Wright State on top of Vandy 2-0 in the bottom of this third. Stetson on top of North Carolina State 9-1. I cannot see what inning that is in. It looks like the bottom of the eighth, and Miami has defeated Alabama 5-3. Bama had runners on first and second, 2 outs. I think Cade Snell was up, hit a long, deep fly ball about a foot from the wall. And that was the third out of the inning. Miami moving on to the winner's bracket. Alabama to the loser's bracket. But should be a great weekend of college baseball and softball. Make sure you stay locked in. Last night, downtown Panama City, 3 local soccer players signed to play some college soccer. This took place at the local 115 Sports Bar. You had Freeport's Abby Bankston. She's going to the United States Sports Academy. And then 2 soccer players from the best high school soccer program in the nation, the Arnold Marlins. Travis Novak and Lincoln Ginn are going to be headed to Enterprise State Community College to play, to continue their playing career together. So pretty cool stuff right there from the Arnold Marlins soccer team. Also, all right, there's been some coach firings lately in the news cycle. We had, Coach Rondy Ross, and now you've got, that wasn't a firing. That was a resigning, though. That was a resigning. So now, then today, you've got Bozeman now, Coach Rondy Ross, what he did with the Rutherford's basketball team was, boys basketball team, basically unprecedented. But he's resigning. They're moving in a different direction. Coach Davis is going to be taking over the boys basketball team. He was the girls basketball coach. Well, now you have Bozeman, who's moving on from Jared Smith, and they just had their first playoff win in program history. So Bozeman has said that they're going to move in another direction. That's Coach Jared Smith saying that, or being told that, and then giving that information to News Channel 13. Bozeman was 14-11 last year. They went to the regional semifinals. and they beat Florida High in Tallahassee. They lost here in town to North Bay Haven, and that was obviously they played for the district finals as well. North Bay Haven won that. They've been at the program for several years, 3 postseason appearances, and 12 or more players getting to the collegiate level. He was an assistant there at Bozeman from 2009 to 2012, and then became head coach in 2013 and 14, and then came back and has been there since 2017. All of the regional appearances, they have been under Jared Smith as the head coach. So just a wild, kind of out of the blue firing or moving in a different direction. I mean, you think that the wild firings are kind of just, for the NFL and for college football, but it's wild when you start hearing about the politics stuff. I'm not really able to talk about, because when I hear about it from people that say, well, don't, say anything about this, because,
and how much do you know is real? Yeah.
Exactly. You got to hear from both sides. And so I'm not throwing fire at anybody, but it's also just like, what is going on when you hear some of these things? So congratulations, first and foremost, to Coach Rondy Ross and to Jared Smith and to anyone else who's, had a ton of success here in the area. And then, I think Bozeman's already made their replacement hire for Coach Patton. So now they got to get a new softball coach. Lots of hirings having to be done for Bozeman athletics as of late. But I think Rutherford's made quite a few changes as well. Anyways, congratulations to the seasons that Coach Rondy Ross and Jared Smith just had, and good luck on your next adventures. Atlanta Braves coming up right here after the Afternoon Underdogs cover starting at 6. First pitch, Grant Holmes going to be tossing that at 6:15 against the Boston Red Sox there at Truist Park. Let's see if any new headlines have fell down. There's the thing going on with Zion right now, but until I read about that, I'm not going to dive into that situation, the accusation, if you will. How about the college football playoff is in a limbo right here, and I had a great article pulled up about it earlier that I was reading earlier before the show. But you've got the SEC. All of the other conferences have came together and provided what they would like their model to be for the college football playoff format. Of course, we're going to talk a lot more about this Monday when we have Steve Barnes on the line with us. But you've got the Big 12, who is looking at a 4+4+2+1 model, or 4+4 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1 model. That would be 8, 10, 12, 13. Okay, so basically what that's getting at is when you're looking at the numbers 5 and 2, if you're seeing that model, or 5 and 7 would be your 5 conference champions, and then that would also be all the rest would be at large. What the Big Ten wants, and the Big Ten and SEC now, because last year you had all the conferences and Notre Dame come together and sign basically an article that was saying that they understand that the SEC and Big Ten's voting power is larger than what the ACC, the Big 12, and all of the, and Notre Dame included. The SEC and the Big Ten basically is going to get to run the show. Now they're supposed to also communicate in good faith with the other teams that everything is best for college football right now. But the SEC, it looked like they wanted the same model as the Big Ten, but they've had their meetings over there in Sandestin, and they look to be more aligned with the ACC and the Big 12 more so than what they are with the Big Ten. So this could get interesting, and we still don't know if we're going to have 14 or 16 teams in the college football playoff. Obviously, none of that stuff is going to be happening here in 2025. So, but they want to get these things ironed out so that when we're headed into next year, when we get to the college football playoff this year, we know what we're going to be doing next year. That's all we've got for you guys this afternoon. Your Braves are coming up next. Enjoy college sports this weekend between softball and baseball. Lots of great stuff happening for Bone Crusher, Caveman Rick. I'm David Hayes. We're the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida. Jesus loves you, so do I.
ESPN ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Dan Patrick Show.
To give credit, OKC is the best defensive team in the NBA. They're proving that. Now, that's not, a hot take when you go, how about we credit the defense? It's what's wrong with Anthony Edwards. I'm giving a whole lot of credit to OKC. I've often said many times, don't let the best player beat you.
It's the Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings from 9 till 11. ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida with your Friday's weather. Tonight there will be a gentle breeze out of the north-northwest, mostly clouds and possible thunderstorms, and 72. Sunshine tomorrow morning, about the same, 81. In the afternoon and evening, sunny and a gentle breeze right around 11 miles per hour with a high of 83. About the same at 84 Sunday, and we'll have some sun. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros' 14 large-screen TVs with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5 and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison.
When you bring your vehicle to Panama City Toyota for repairs or maintenance, you'll get the warmest welcome around.
That's because we see service differently.
It's not only an expert team that can help with everything, from simple adjustments to a new set of tires. It's also a team that values your time, so we make your experience as quick and comfortable as possible. Because we're committed to service that goes beyond. Only at Panama City Toyota.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota, ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's been an up and down start for the 2025 Atlanta Braves, but the road is long and the big names are on the way back.
3-0 to Olsen, and he powers one deep right center field to the wall. It's gonna fly. It's a home run.
Which means every win counts more than ever.
Ozzy's got it. He'll fire it to first base. Braves are winner. Woohoo!
Atlanta Braves baseball on the Braves Radio Network is brought to you by the original Louisiana hot sauce. Flavor favors the bold. Your local Ford dealers, proud partner of your Atlanta Braves. The Home Depot, how doers get more done. Your local Hyundai dealer, proud sponsor of the Atlanta Braves. John Foy and Associates Personal Injury Law. Get the strong arm. Arrow Exterminators, make the right call and protect your home or business from pests by calling 888-GO-ARROW. Peachtree Orthopedics, same day, evenings and Saturdays. It's time to get better. SeatGeek, the official ticket marketplace of the Atlanta Braves. Yanmar Tractors and Engines, an official partner of the Atlanta Braves grounds crew. Your Atlanta area Lexus dealer. Experience amazing. Simply Sport, the official CBD partner of your Atlanta Braves. TimberTech Decking and Railing. Everything wood should be. Visit TimberTech.com. City of Hope Atlanta, making hope a reality for cancer patients throughout the Southeast. Attorney Ken Nugent. One call, that's all. Xfinity. Get the fastest connection to the Braves and stream the biggest moments from the best seat in the house with Xfinity. Pennington Grass Seed. Official partner of the Atlanta Braves grounds crew. ServPro. When disaster strikes, call ServPro to make it like it never even happened. Saya LTL Freight. The official freight and logistics company of the Atlanta Braves. Corona Extra. La Playa awaits. Georgia Power. The official electric energy partner of the Atlanta Braves. IBEW Local 613. Truist Park keeps the lights on with IBEW 613 electricians. The Battery Atlanta's own ASW Distillery, home of the award-winning Fiddler Bourbon. TYM Tractors, a winning lineup, together as one. Tonight, the Braves are back home in Atlanta for a huge interleague matchup as they kick off a weekend against the American League East Boston Red Sox. This is Atlanta Braves baseball on the Braves Radio Network, lit by Louisiana Hot Sauce.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome into Atlanta Braves baseball. Tonight from Truist Park in Atlanta, Georgia. It's game one in a series of three between the Braves and the Red Sox. On the mound for the Braves, it's the right-hander Grant Holmes, and he faces fellow right-hander Lucas Giolito. Great to be with you and great to be at home on a Friday night alongside Joe Simpson and our producer-engineer Jonathan Chadwick. Ben Ingram here with you. And, Joe, this is a pitching matchup that we just saw not even 2 weeks ago, and these two teams seeing each other about 12, 13 days ago. Not a whole lot of unknowns between these two.
No, there won't be any secrets tonight or in this series, especially where the pitching is concerned, I wouldn't think. And for Grant Holmes going for the Braves, he's pitching great. He's coming off a start since Boston against San Diego, where arguably his best outing of the year. So he's on a pretty good roll, and I look for good things from him tonight.
Yeah, me too. And it seems like anytime the Braves face Giolito, good things happen, especially with Matt Olson. We were detailing his successes versus Giolito the last time he saw him. He's 7 for 10 against him with 4 homers. And the numbers altogether for Giolito, not good at his career versus the Braves.
No, they're not. And a real high ERA. And his ERA, though, Ben, it's funny, a real high ERA at Fenway Park, that's not surprising, and a real comfortable ERA in the 2s on the road. So he's pitched much better away from Boston. We'll see how he fares tonight.
These are two teams that have really struggled in one-run games. The Red Sox have lost 15 one-run games. That's the most in baseball. The Braves right behind them. Braves have lost 14 one-run games, second most in baseball. So that tells me this is going to be a pretty competitive series.
Yeah, it might be. I was just looking up the league standings for Boston in offense, and pitching and defense. Offensively, they're up, they're in 3rd, 4th, 5th place in a lot of different categories. I think they're 2nd in OPS in the American League. Pitching's not that bad either, probably in the top 7 or 8 in the league. But their defense is horrible. They are last in the American League in defense, and they've committed an ugly 46 errors already this year.
So that just tells me you just need to make some contact, maybe.
Put it in play and take your chances, and certainly something worth watching here this weekend.
Yeah, exactly. Put the pressure on them. I mentioned those one-run games. This is the number that jumps out to me. The Red Sox, as I mentioned, are 6 and 15 in one-run games. They're 1 and 10 in one-run games on the road this year.
Yeah, it's ugly, and they've lost 5 straight coming into town. So maybe the Braves, even though they took 2 out of 3 at Fenway, maybe they've got the Red Sox at a good moment.
I hope so. Need a big weekend here at home as the Braves start up a 6-game homestand. When we come back, Joe will introduce you to the starting lineups, and right after that, we'll have the first pitch. Braves and Red Sox tonight on the Atlanta Braves Radio Network.
Have you ever wondered if there was something special you could put on your food to make it even better? There is, and it's called the original Louisiana brand hot sauce, perfectly blending zesty peppers, tangy vinegar, and salty salt. The original Louisiana brand hot sauce makes curly fries into curl your toes fries, and every plate of nachos into nacho heck yeah. Only the original Louisiana brand hot sauce is bold enough to be the official hot sauce of the Atlanta Braves. That's Louisiana hot. Buy you some.
Want to hear a sound that's music to your ears? It's this one.
You're a winner!
Because that means you're an instant winner in the Cash 4 444 promotion. For 44 days, 444 Cash 4 players will win $444 right on the spot. Just listen for this prize alert when your ticket prints from the terminal.
You're a winner!
Or look for the prize alert on your ticket to see if you've won. There are 444 winners through July 1st. So play Cash 4 to instantly win an extra $444. Only from the Georgia Lottery. Play responsibly.
Hurry up and get your Braves tickets for the 2025 season. With great matchups and multiple seating options and packages available, there's something every fan will love. Visit Braves.com/tickets today.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
Everyone in the area knows that when it comes to portable buildings, Best Way Portable Buildings is the best in portable, period. And now they offer screen enclosures too to help keep those vicious yellow flies, mosquitoes, and no-see-ums away. Need a pole barn? Best Way can do the job. See Best Way Portable Buildings just north of the old mall on Highway 231. Online at bestwayportablebuildings.com. Best Way Portable Buildings, the best in portable, period. And a golden age business.
Are you looking for a place to take a leak?
Do you have a truck, tractor, or other hydraulic equipment leaking or not performing as it should? At Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, we can get you back to work. Do you have a busted or leaking hose? Hydraulic cylinder or pump needing repair? If competitive pricing and a quick turnaround are what matter to your business, come see us at Reliable Hydraulic Solutions. Or you can give us a call at 850-326-3000. Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, 6840 Highway 77 in Southport. The best place in town to take a leak.
Now, back to the Atlanta Braves. The Atlanta Braves play here. ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Out here at the ballpark, we're getting set for Game 1 between the Braves and the Red Sox. Time to take a look at tonight's starting lineups for Game 1. And as always, they're powered by Georgia Power, the official electric energy partner of the Atlanta Braves. For the Red Sox, leading it off will be Jarren Duran, and he'll be in left field. Rafael Devers is a hitting machine. He'll be the DH batting second. Wilyer Abreu will be in right field batting third. Rookie Carlos Narvaez is doing the catching, and he bats cleanup. Just up from the minor leagues is Marcelo Meyer, and he is the top-notch prospect for the Red Sox. They're crazy about this guy. He'll be at third base, and he bats fifth. Batting sixth at first base is Abraham Toro. Trevor Story, the veteran, is at shortstop hitting seventh. Hitting eighth at second base is Christian Campbell, and Ceddanne Rafaela is in center field batting ninth. Again, for the Red Sox, it's Duran, Devers, and Abreu, Narvaez, Meyer, and Toro, Story, Campbell, and Rafaela. For the Atlanta Braves, leading it up and playing right field will be Ronald Acuna Jr. Ozzie Albies will bat second at second base. Like seeing Ozzie move into the two-hole. Batting third, the DH will be Marcell Ozuna. Matt Olson at first base bats cleanup. Austin Riley will hit fifth and play third base. Batting sixth in left field is Alex Verdugo. Sean Murphy will bat seventh and do the catching. Batting eighth in center field, Michael Harris the second. And Luke Williams gets the start at shortstop, and he bats ninth. Again, for the Braves, it's Acuna, Albies, and Ozuna. Olson, Riley, and Verdugo. Murphy, Harris, and Williams. Those are your starting lineups. Back out here at Truist Park for first pitch right after this timeout on the Braves Radio Network.
Jeff Francoeur here to talk with you about your car insurance. You gotta have it, so you might as well work with a company that invests your dollars right back into your community. Georgia Farm Bureau Insurance supports grassroots efforts that strengthen rural communities and protect farms and products growing here in Georgia. You can rely on them for quality insurance coverage and to help protect our access to local food. Get a quote at gfbinsurance.com, Georgia Farm Bureau Insurance.
Summer in the South means a few things. Baseball, grilling out, and Vidalia onions from Schumann Farms. Vidalia onions are the champagne of onions. It can only be a Vidalia if it's grown in a specific region of South Georgia where the soils are just right for providing that signature sweetness. So look for Schumann Farms Real Sweet brand Vidalia onions at your local grocery store this summer and enjoy the champagne of onions. Flavor guaranteed. Special occasion optional. Schumann Farms, the Georgia family farm growing tradition and the world's sweetest onions.
Remember the good old days when baseball in Atlanta was an adventure? Book your stay today at omnihotels.com/Atlanta, because some things are too good not to relive.
CBC Construction is looking for a few good men. At CBC Construction, our greatest strength lies within our talented team. Join us and be a part of a dynamic company that values its people. We offer a tremendous opportunity to create a future for your family and the Florida Panhandle. CBC Construction is now hiring. Call us at 850-740-3815 or visit cbcconstruction.com to learn more. CBC Construction, be part of a winning team.
If you spend any time at all in your yard, you're going to encounter fire ants.
We know they can ruin a party. That's why we're this area's experts at fire ant elimination.
As your certified top choice professional, we will rid your yard of these unwanted invaders. Brock Pest is so sure they'll get rid of fire ants that they offer a 1-year guarantee.
Enjoy your yard fire ant free. We guarantee it. Give us a call for your free consultation.
Brock Lawn and Pest Control, our family protecting yours since 1968.
Hewitt Tire and Auto. Call 850-769-7323. your certified AAA service center and hometown towing.
Visit them online at HewittTire.com.
On Airport Road in Panama City.
850-769-7323. Hewitt Tire and Auto Center and Hometown Towing.
Need a tow? Call Billy at Hometown Towing, 850-265-1562.
The Atlanta Braves play here.
Boston Riley with a 2-run home run to dead center.
Only in 104.3 in the ESPN Northwest Florida app.
It's another Chamber of Commerce night here at Truist Park. Game time temperature 69 degrees. Can you believe it? Wind out of the northwest at 8 miles an hour. The umpires are assembling for an exchange of the lineups. They are tonight behind the plate. Clint Vondrack, Phil Cuzzies at first base, Tony Randazzo at second base, and Dan Bellino is at third. A reminder, folks, before we get started, the Tire Discounters round-tripper home run promotion offers Braves fans a next-day instant savings on set of select tires, plus a free alignment and oil change. The more homers the Braves hit, the bigger the deals at Tire Discounters. Learn more at tirediscounters.com/Braves. Boston Red Sox in town, their only visit of the year. We do a home-and-home with them because they're considered the natural rivalry for the Braves because of the time the Braves spent in Boston before moving to Milwaukee, before moving to Atlanta. Boston comes in with a record of 27-31. They're in fourth place in the American League East, 9.5 back of the Yankees. They've lost 5 straight, and they are 11-17 on the road. Braves took 2 out of 3 from them in Boston about 10 days ago. And here come the Braves, led by their pitcher, Grant Holmes. Huge crowd on hand. They're still filing in. No doubt we're going to have a sellout tonight. Behind Holmes in the outfield, left to right, Verdugo, Harris, and Acuna. First to third on the infield, it's Olsen, Albies, Williams, and Riley. Sean Murphy to do the catching. And on the mound, Grant Holmes, 29 years old, 6 feet, a stocky 225 out of Conway, South Carolina. Originally a first-round draft pick by the Dodgers back in 2014. He's 3-3 with a 3.68 ERA because he evened his record at 3-3 with a great outing against San Diego on the 24th. 7 innings, only gave up 1 run and 1 walk and struck out 6. He pitched against Boston on May 17th and should have won the ball game. Got a no decision. 6 innings, 3 hits, only 2 runs allowed there, but he did walk 4, struck out 5, and gave up a homer. So we'll see how many adjustments the Red Sox are ready to make tonight against a guy they saw just not that many days ago. But Grant's ready. He completes his warm-ups. The throw's headed down to second base. And here with a play-by-play story once again is Ben Ingram.
Thank you, Joe. Braves and the Red Sox, game 1 of this series. Good to be home. I love this place on a Friday night. And we got a big crowd on hand this evening for game 1 of this series. Cash in on the baseball action with Prize Picks, the official daily fantasy sports partner of the Atlanta Braves. Download Prize Picks, use code BRAVES, and get $50 instantly when you play $5. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details. It'll be Duran, Devers, and Abreu, the dynamic threesome at the top of the order for the Red Sox. And Grant Holmes, who's had a good season, but his best stuff has come right here on the mound at Truist Park. More on that as we progress here on the top of the first inning. Jaron Duran is ready. So is Grant Holmes. First game of this series. And now for the ball game. The first pitch misses outside. Starting up tonight at 7:16 Eastern, 6:16 Central.
7:16 p.m.
And they are telling us 75 degrees here at the ballpark. Nice night. 1-0 pitch. And that's skied. Left side of the infield, Williams and Riley both looking up. This skyscraper comes on down into Luke Williams' glove. And 1 down. Time of the first pitch brought to you by Schumann Farms. Look for Real Sweet Brand Vidalia onions from Schumann Farms in a store near you. Braves coming out of the first base dugout tonight wearing their Friday night red tops. Red tops, white pants, navy lettering, navy numerals, outlined in white. Braves across the chest on top of the navy tomahawk. Those good-looking red uniforms. Here's Rafael Devers. He had a huge series versus the Braves. And he's going to poke one, little floater out into shallow right center field. A diving effort by Williams, but he can't get there. It'll be a base hit by Devers. Little flare into right center field. And look, given what we saw him do the last time we saw him, you'll take that all day because the last time we saw him, he was taking him out of the ballpark. Hit a couple of home runs in that series versus the Braves.
Yeah, it was a good pitch. Broke his bat, in fact.
One down for Wilyer Abreu. Red Sox wearing their traveling gray uniforms, tops and pants, red lettering, red numerals outlined in navy, and Boston across the chest of their gray uniforms. There's a ball low and outside to Wilyer Abreu. So like we were discussing earlier, this is the exact same pitching matchup we had 13 days ago at Fenway Park. No decisions for both hurlers, Holmes and Giolito. In a game the Braves led comfortably but blew the lead late and lost the game. 1-0 pitch, and Abreu takes a called strike. That outing for Holmes versus the Red Sox is the only time I should say he's ever seen this team. That was the night of the Devers walk-off. Braves bounced back the next day and won the rubber game. 1-1 pitch, a little bit low and outside, missed with a fastball. In the month of May, it's been a really good month for multiple Braves pitchers, and Grant Holmes is no different. He's got a 2.93 ERA this month. That's over 30 2/3 of an inning. And tonight is his 6th start of the month. 2-1 pitch, low and in, almost hit him in the foot with a slider. Make it a 3-1 count on Abreu. And on top of that, Joe, of the 6 outings that he has had this month, counting tonight, 5 of them have been at home. He's only pitched 1 road game all month. And this season, a home ERA of 2.36, a road ERA of 5.55. Big difference there in those splits. 3-1 to Abreu. And he missed outside with a curveball for ball 4.
We say it all the time, Ben. A lot of the big keys for Grant Holmes are walks and home runs. That wasn't that bad a pitch, didn't get the call. But there's his first walk, and it comes in the first inning after only walking 1 in 7 innings against the Padres last time out.
Runners at first and second, 1 out for Carlos Narvaez. Narvaez, their catcher, a 289 hitter. And the first pitch dots the strike zone. Good cutter that time.
And their offense is not that bad. I mean, in the month of May, Duran hitting 344, Devers 365, Narvaez 375. They got some guys swinging it.
0-1 pitch and a 3/4 swing, pulled by the slider, and an 0-2 count. Well, and we saw that in that series in Boston because it never felt like any lead was safe against this bunch. Especially those guys at the top, Duran and Devers. They are tough outs. Runners at first and second, 1 out for Narvaez. He's homered 5 times this year. 0-2 from Holmes. A little bit low and outside with a slider. That point that you bring up about the homers and the walks, I don't know that there's a better point when talking about Grant Holmes. There's the 1-2 pitch on the way to Carlos Narvaez. 1-2, fouled off. You look at the hits that Holmes has allowed this season, just 42 hits in 58 2/3 innings. I mean, you love that ratio.
You bet.
It's just when the walks are added in there, that's when he really gets himself into a little bit of a jam.
Well, his average against is 199. But of those 42 hits coming in, 10 are homers, and usually complicated by some walks.
He's hoping for his first strikeout of the game right here. 1-2. Check swing, they appeal, strike 3. Narvaez rung up, good slider away. Just looked too tempting for him. Couldn't hold back. And 2 down in the inning. So 2 away for Marcelo Meyer. Marcelo Meyer, just 22 years old. They got a list of big-time prospects, and he's certainly one of their biggest names. Pitch on the way to Meyer, and he'll take a big hack and a miss at a first pitch slider. For Meyer, he was selected in the first round, was signed as the 4th overall pick when he was drafted. Left-handed hitting third baseman, 0-1 pitch on the way. Let him miss low and inside. And the injury to Alex Bregman opened the door for Marcelo Meyer. And he's not the only young one that they brought up from the minor leagues this year. No score, top of the first inning. For Holmes, this will be his 16th bullet fired here in the top of the first. 1-1 pitch, not a thing wrong with that. Fastball in a good place to make it 1-2.
So this guy's your first pick just 4 years ago. He's moving quickly through your system, star third baseman, and then you go out and you sign Bregman. I wonder what it did to the psyche of Meyer.
Yeah, it's a good point. 1-2. Low and inside, miss with a slider, 2-2.
I mean, is he already thinking, okay, I guess I've got to change positions already? At AAA this year, he's hitting .271, 9 homers, 43 driven in already. 6'3", 190. Out of Chula Vista, California.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 men aboard. No score in the top of the first inning. Grant Holmes trying to keep it that way. Now the 2-2. Have a seat. Beautiful curveball. Darting low and in as Meyer swung over the top of it. And he turns the rookie away. So a walk and a single do no harm to Holmes. We head to the bottom of the first inning. Red Sox nothing. And the Braves coming up when we come back.
From playing catch in the front yard to backyard barbecues, your lawn is the backdrop to it all. That's why Pennington, at the official grass seed of the Atlanta Braves, is here to help you grow a lawn you can be proud of. With over 80 years of experience rooted right here in Braves country, Pennington knows what it takes to achieve big league results right at home. So whether you're entertaining or unwinding, you can trust Pennington Grass Seed, available at the Home Depot.
A golf instructor who knows technique can improve an aspiring pro's swing. But one who really cares can help transform a career.
There he is, your new champion.
When you team up with someone who knows a lot and cares even more, you're unstoppable. At Truist, we believe the same is true for banking. Truist, leaders in banking, unwavering in care. Truist Bank, member FDIC, leading based on top 10 U.S. commercial bank.
Hi, I'm too busy enjoying the summer in my sweet new Toyota. Stuck inside all day? Couldn't be me. Not during the Summer Starts Here sales event, where there are deals on the entire lineup. Try again when May ends. Toodles! Get $500 in bonus lease cash on a new 2025 Toyota Tacoma. Offer valid through June 2nd, 2025. Offer entitles $500 bonus lease cash on the lease of a new and untitled 2025 Toyota Tacoma vehicle. Bonus cash may be used only toward down payment or capitalized cost reduction on the new vehicle. See dealer for details. Toyota, let's go places.
The original Louisiana brand hot sauce. It's the perfect balance of peppers, vinegar, and the salty tears of Mets fans. That's Louisiana Hot. Buy you some.
Score into the bottom of the first inning, and the Braves about to come up and take their first hacks at Lucas Giolito, the right-hander from Los Angeles, 30 years old, 1-1 with a 5.27 ERA, and making his 6th start of the season. He'll be facing Acuna, Albies, and Ozuna here in the bottom of a scoreless first inning. And the Braves just did see Giolito 2 starts ago. He was facing the Braves, and the Braves got after him, hit 3 bombs against him. Here's his first pitch to Ronald Acuna. And Ronald takes a called strike. Here's the leather for Boston. Abraham Toro at first base. Christian Campbell at second. Trevor Story, the shortstop. And Marcelo Meyer at third base. Tell you about their outfielders after the 0-1 pitch on the way to Ronald Acuna. 0-1 pitch. And Ronald takes a strike on the outside corner, down 0-2. Jaron Duran is the left fielder, currently battling the sun in his eyes. Ceddanne Rafaela is in center. Wilyer Abreu enjoying the shade over there in right field in front of the chop house. 0-2 on the way to Acuna. Outside 1-2. Carlos Narvaez is the catcher, and the pitcher Lucas Giolito. Big right-hander, 6'6", 245. As As you've probably heard 1,000 times prior, he was part of the same high school staff as Max Fried and Jack Flaherty. 1-2 pitch on the way. That'll miss a little bit low.
It's a pretty stout high school team.
Yeah, I bet they won some ball games.
Yeah.
Last outing for Giolito was one where he got back on the horse. Braves bucked him off. As he went 4 innings in that game versus the Braves, gave up 6 runs on 8 hits. 2-2 to Acuna, and he'll send one deep and foul. It's going to land in the second deck deep down the right field line. But the last outing for Giolito, 7 innings, no runs, scattered 6 hits, couple of walks, 6 strikeouts. Got a no decision in the game the Red Sox actually lost. And this veteran right-hander facing the Braves for the 5th time in his career. 2-2 pitch, and Acuna zaps one up the middle. Base hit. Right in between the shortstop Story and the bag at second. A good trip to the plate for Acuna. Ronald has now reached safely in each of his 7 games since returning from the injured list. Speaking of getting on base, how about the run that this guy's been on? Ozzie Albies here lately.
Yeah, just keep doing what you're doing.
Ozzie has hit safely in 14 straight games. That's 1 shy of matching his career best that he set last season with 15. He'd like to just check that box right here. Pitch will miss high, 1 ball and no strikes. When it comes to facing Giolito, look, he's got a slider and a curve, but you really focus on that changeup, aren't you?
Yeah, and these guys have had good numbers against him for the most part. Ozzie just 1 for 7.
Little soft flare over towards third, going back into his right and foul ground is Marcelo Meyer for the catch. And that might be the softest exit velocity of the night. That looked like a soft serve in a tennis match.
It's like a check swing that he didn't want to make contact on, but somehow did.
For a second, I thought it might go over Meyer and land fair.
Yeah.
The thing is, I was thinking that's how it's going for Ozzie right now. There's Marcell Ozuna. No score, bottom of the first inning. Ozuna takes a changeup outside. I mentioned that the Braves hit 3 homers versus Giolito when they last saw him. One of them was hit by Ozuna. In fact, Olsen and Ozuna went back-to-back versus Giolito, and Baldwin hit one later in the game. 1-0 to Ozuna. Low and outside with a slider. 2 balls, no strikes. Lead at first by Ronald Acuna, held by Abraham Toro. Hitters count, 2-0 pitch. And he takes a called strike at a changeup over. For Giolito, he missed all of last year, had the internal brace operation on his elbow, and then he missed the first month of this season with a hamstring strain. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That'll miss off the plate to Ozuna. He and Strider could exchange stories of those injuries.
Very similar. His arm action 180 degrees from Spencer, so it is very hard to pick the ball up. His arm curls up behind his right ear and then lets it fly.
3-1 pitch. And that missed high. Ozuna with another walk. And for Ozuna, that is his league-leading 48th walk of the year.
Only the 9th issued by Giolito in 28 innings.
Now 2 men on base for Matt Olson. And of all the pitchers that Matt has owned in his career, this might be the guy that he's dominated the most, Giolito. 1 out, runners at first and second. First pitch to Olsen. He'll swing and foul one back. Olsen in his career versus Giolito, 7 for 13 with 4 homers and 2 walks.
That works.
And looking for more success versus Giolito. Looking for the early lead. Good wheels down there at second base and Acuna. 0-1 pitch. Low and inside. Almost hit him in the back foot with a slider and a 1-1 count. Giolito has to be thinking, okay, what have I ever done that's worked against him? And how do I replicate that here? Because Olsen has had so much success against him. Waiting on the 1-1. Here it comes. Healthy cut, but a foul ball by Matt Olsen. Fouled a fastball straight back.
Boy, Giolito got away with that.
1-2 on Olsen. Austin Riley will be next. No score, bottom of the first inning. That could change with one swing right here. And the 1-2. Missed high. Fastball upstairs. And a 2-2 count on Matt Olson. Matt with a dozen home runs this year. Gets a base hit right here and drives in Acuna. That'll be RBI number 30. Count level at 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. Giolito brings it. And Olsen bounces one foul to the first base line. And Tom Goodwin, Braves first base coach, there to grab that bouncer. For Giolito, 4 previous appearances in his career versus the Braves, 3 as a starter. He's 0-2 with an 11-12 career ERA versus the Braves. And he's allowed 9 home runs in 17 career innings versus Atlanta. A lot of long balls. 2-2 pitch. And Olsen rockets one into right field. Acuna hits the bag at third. They're going to test the arm of Abreu. Here's the third of the plate, and it's mishandled. Ronald comes across and scores. And Ronald just wants to make sure that he touched the plate, goes back and does touch it as the ball was juggled by Narvaez and then goes to the backstop. Olsen down to second. Ozuna over to third. 1-0 Braves. Ronald came across standing as the ball is being juggled by